Chapter 345. Rank 3 Most Difficult Mission. Lu Muyin and Zi Che-Shi left the yard together and went to find Ding Hao. On the way, Zi Che-Shi said first, "It seems that the rumors aren't credible. Junior sister Lu being able to choose an individual courtyard must be because of your own strength. Hearing is false, seeing is believing. Senior brother didn't show any unkindness to me before, so you must also probably didn't fully believe the rumors." Lu Muyin replied with a light smile. She would live in the talisman school for a long time in the future, so she naturally should have a good relationship with this senior brother. The atmosphere of the Eight Extremes sect is relatively righteous, so things like you being a relative of Elder Ao to enjoy privileges, as long as one is capable of discerning, they wouldn't believe it. From the first time Zi Che-Shi met Lu Muyin, he discovered that the sect leader and the several elders all had an unusual attitude toward her. Only those who were blinded by jealousy would believe the rumors of so-called relatives. After chatting idly for a bit, the two met Ding Hao, who was introducing the other 3 people to the talisman school, and they also joined in. Ding Hao then took them to meet many old pupils in the talisman school. The pupils of the talisman school were relatively free, and they could usually move around wherever. They also had a very good relationship with each other, and the attitude of the old pupils when meeting the 5 could also be considered quite enthusiastic. When Lu Muyin returned to her courtyard, she discovered that there were not only not many resources available on her to use, but because she also gave all her spiritual stones to Lu Muting, she was right now a very poor person. It took a lot of resources for her spirit pets to advance, so she could only take out the contribution points jade slip given by Ao Rome to take a look. The above specifically introduced the rules for how to obtain and use contribution points in the Eight Extremes sect, and also listed the things that could be exchanged in the resource pool in the most recent 3 years. Lu Muyin swept it again and found that she and her few spirit pets could use a lot of the things in the resource pool, but the contribution points required added up to an astronomical figure. She could only take 1 step at a time. "Owner, are we going to take on missions to earn contribution points now?" Bing Ji was gearing up. When he was with Lu Muyin, he was already used to turning into a 7-colored parrot. Lu Muyin rolled her eyes at him. "In the sect, give it a rest for me. Let's talk about missions tomorrow after listening to the lectures of the elders who teach in the talisman school tomorrow." The next day, Lu Muyin went to the talisman school to listen to the grade 4 talisman master elders lecture. Although she knew most of the things, but there were also things worth learning. Another 2 days passed. Lu Muyin flew on her sword and arrived at the sect's mission registration management office. As soon as she arrived at the entrance of the main hall, she saw many people coming in and out, very lively, and most of them were unfamiliar faces. A few also had very strong auras. Lu Muyin stepped in the main hall and headed straight to the innermost registration office. There were 3 supervisors on duty at the registration office at this time. In front of the 3 were long queues, either pupils who were handing in their missions or pupils who were accepting missions. Lu Muyin randomly chose a long line to walk over and waited in line like everyone else. During the period, she also heard many discussions. The mission distribution of this sect was divided into 9 ranks. The higher the rank, the higher the difficulty, and of course, the more contribution points. Lu Muyin listened to the surrounding discussions and found that most of the outer pupils in the sect chose tasks below rank 4, while the inner pupils chose missions below rank 7. As for the missions above rank 7, one generally needed to form a party to complete, and the higher the difficulty factor, there may not even be a single person accepting it for many years. In the mission area, 2 walls refined as spars were specially built. On one side, there was a list of the top 100 contribution points rankings of the inner sect, and on the other, there was a ranking list of the outer sect's top 100 contribution points. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, of course. The contribution points list would also change constantly with the contribution points of pupils. However, it was said that regardless of whether it was the top 10 of the outer sect or inner sect's top 10, the people on the contribution points list would generally not change. Only their rankings would change, and the magnitude wasn't big. It was almost an hour's wait before it was her turn. As soon as she walked in, she handed her identity token to the assistant in charge of registration. After the supervisor checked the identity token per guidelines, he handed her a jade slip and said, "The missions are all on it. You can choose it yourself. You can only choose one at a time, and you can continue to accept a second one after completion." All right. Lu Muyin used her mental energy to check the missions and found that most of the missions below rank 3 could be completed with the strength of a sword monarch. So she jumped right away and looked at rank 3 missions. In fact, even rank 3 missions weren't that difficult for her. But for the first time taking on a mission, she still followed the principle of being low profile. So she chose the most difficult one among the rank 3 missions. "I choose the mission of catching leopard lion beasts alive," Lu Muyin said. The supervisor looked up at her in surprise, thought for a bit, then reminded, "This is the most difficult task in rank 3. It's your first time completing a mission. You can do something simple first." "Thank you for the reminder, but I'll choose this one," Lu Muyin said with a smile. After completing this mission, there was only 100 contribution points. For what she wanted to exchange, the contribution points were still far too few. If it wasn't because it was her first time doing a mission to try out, she would definitely choose a mission with high contribution points and difficulty. Only by doing difficult missions could one improve their strength while also gaining contribution points. Then it's up to you. The maximum duration of this task is half a year. If you don't come to hand in the task after half a year, it'll be regarded as automatic abstention. The supervisor had already reminded her, but since the other party still insisted, then he wouldn't say anything more. "All right, then it'll trouble you." Lu Muyin didn't go back to her residence after receiving the mission, but instead flew directly to an unmanned area in the 8 Extremes sect to complete the task. When the 8 Extremes sect built the sect, it included several dangerous areas with abundant resources and many demonic beasts. First, it used the method of issuing missions to train pupils of the sect in their growth, and second, it also provided a steady stream of resources for the sect. When Lu Muyin left, she was seen by a female pupil who had a good relationship with Xuelaner. After she handed in a rank 3 ordinary mission, she ran to tell Xuelaner. She actually went to accept the most difficult task in rank 3. Xuelaner asked in surprise, I watched her accept it with my own eyes." The supervisor even reminded her, but she still insisted on taking the task. The woman replied. Xuelaner smiled disdainfully. "The leopard lion beast is as fast as lightning, and is also a social beast. It's difficult even for a sword sovereign powerhouse to catch 100 of them alive, let alone a pupil who had only just been promoted into sword sovereign. She truly can't weigh herself. Yeah, even if she has Elder Ao's support, she shouldn't be this arrogant." The woman concurred. "Go and release this news," Xuelaner said with a grim smile. "You should know what to do, right?" "I understand." The woman usually clung to Xuelaner and dared not refuse her orders. Besides, she also hated Lu Muyin, who could enjoy an individual courtyard. The news that the new pupil Lu Muyin was overconfident and accepted the hardest rank 3 mission for her first mission, despite the supervisor's warning, spread within only 2 hours. Many people were influenced by Xuelaner's deliberate spreading of rumors before and disliked Lu Muyin. Now that they heard that she was so arrogant, they hated her even more and waited for her to be unable to complete the mission and be embarrassed. This matter spread to the ears of the headmasters of the various schools, and they all came to pay attention to this matter. After all, although the Leopard Lion Beast mission was only rank 3, but it was very difficult to complete. So far, no one had managed to catch more than 50 of them alive. Lu Muyin didn't know what Xuelaner did. She was currently on her way to the mountain where the Leopard Lion Beasts lived. Of course, if she knew about Xuelaner's plan, she might even applaud her, shouting good. Consecutively slapping faces was her favorite thing to do. Chapter 346. Repeatedly accept, repeatedly hand in. When Lu Muyin arrived at a swamp, she found that there were some black dots constantly jumping around in the swamp. Judging from their auras, they were all demonic beasts of tier 5 or 6. She had never seen a leopard-lion beast before, and the reason why she knew its living habits was actually because it was recorded in the secret classic that Yi Ching Han gave her. Mo Yin, do you know the fastest way to catch leopard-lion beasts? Lu Mu Yin asked Mo Yin as she poked him. Mo Yin glanced at her and said, "The leopard-lion beast is a demonic beast with a thunder attribute. Its speed is as fast as lightning and is even faster than your flash steps. It's very difficult to catch it. How about you let out a roar with the pressure of a royal?" Lu Mu Yin suggested with a smile. With a sound of pressure coercing these beasts, the leopard-lion beasts would be trembling, which would naturally affect their speed and movement of escape. Don't try to take shortcuts. The speed of the leopard-lion beast is very fast, which is perfect for you to improve your flexibility and speed. Mo Yin snorted, appearing like a tsundere. What did this woman think he was? A beast tamer? Lu Mu Yin pouted, thought a bit, then said, "Since we want to improve, then let's all improve together." She pointed to Bing Ji and the other spirit pets and said, "You all go out to catch 100 of them back." This rank 3 mission was cyclical, which meant it could be completed again and again. She couldn't be the only one tiring herself out, could she? Bing Ji, Shui Shui, and Meow Meow were all excited, jumped off from Lu Mu Yin, and ran right to the swamp. Lu Mu Yin grabbed Mo Yin from her shoulder with a mischievous smile and tossed him right down. Mo Yin's eyes contained a helpless and indulgent smile. He rolled over in midair and disappeared from sight. Lu Mu Yin tapped her toes and flew into the swamp as well. 3 days later, one person and a few beasts sat wearily resting on the edge of the swamp. "Owner, these leopard-lion beasts are so difficult to catch. How about we do another mission?" Bing Ji glared at the little black spots in the swamp and said, "At first, they thought the leopard-lion beasts were easy to catch, but who knew that those little things were not only extremely fast, but also cunning like foxes." After 3 days of attempting to catch them, except for the few that Mo Yin and Lu Mu Yin caught, the other 3 spirit pets didn't even have any gains. If you encounter difficulties and give up, then how can you continue to cultivate on the path in the future? Lu Mu Yin glanced at him. "You've really lost all the faces of divine beasts. If it weren't because of this stinky bird's excelling talent, it would probably be difficult for him to even transform with his laziness." "That's right. As if he'll believe that we can't catch any of them when Boss Missouri can." Meow Meow's tender voice was telepathically transmitted. Although Shui Shui also hated entering the swamp as it would greatly restrict his movements, but he found that although he hadn't caught a single leopard-lion beast after 3 days, his vine's flexibility and speed had improved. Lu Mu Yin was the kind of person who wanted to challenge the more difficult something was, and her flash steps had also improved a lot in 3 days. Let's also go work too." Lu Mu Yin got up and looked at the white shadow constantly dashing in the swamp. Mo Yin was still catching the leopard-lion beasts. And as such, the days went by. Lu Mu Yin and her few demonic beasts went from the initial weariness and tough work in being unable to catch many leopard-lion beasts to becoming more and more at ease and found their own tricks. A month later, when Bing Ji returned with the last leopard-lion beast in his mouth, their missions were also completed. 500 leopard-lion beasts can be exchanged for 500 contribution points. This time, the harvest's not that bad. Lu Mu Yin put all the leopard-lion beasts caught in a spirit beast ring. Bing Ji soothed his feathers and said gaudily, "Owner, catching leopard-lion beasts is much easier for us now. Why don't we catch 1,000 and return a hand in?" Lu Mu Yin and the other spirit pets looked at him speechlessly with "You're an idiot" gaze and didn't reply. She turned around and flew in the direction of the sect. Bing Ji pursed his lips aggrievedly and asked Shui Shui, "Shui, aren't I right?" Shui Shui rolled his eyes at him and said, "Idiot, we've been catching them for so long. Haven't you counted how many leopard-lion beasts there are in the swamp? Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, there are only 1,000 at most, and many leopard-lion beasts are already restraining their aura and hiding in the depths of the swamp because we're trying to catch them. It's a waste of our time for us to go catch them." Cough, cough. Bing Jai's old face flushed red. At the time, I was so excited catching them, I forgot about the problem of quantity. But we can catch them in a different place. Aren't there still several swamps like this on this big mountain? Then he added. Lu Mu Yin replied, we accept missions not just for the contribution points, but also to improve our strength. After a month, our movements, flexibility, and speed have all improved, so there's no more meaning in continuing to catch them. As expected, little owner is smart, Bing Ji said with a flattering smile. The other spirit pets all rolled their eyes and scolded, sycophant. As soon as Lu Mu Yin returned to the sect's mission registration office, many people were paying attention. This time, there was still a long queue, and she chose the same supervisor's queue as last time to line up at. When it was her turn, that supervisor was visibly startled, obviously not expecting to meet her again so soon. Are you handing in the task, or giving up the mission and accepting another one? In the past, many pupils, including inner pupils, had accepted this rank 3 mission but had not completed it, so the supervisor thought it was the latter. I'm here to hand in the task, Lu Mu Yin asked with a smile. Supervisor, may I ask whether this mission can be repeatedly accepted, repeatedly handed in? The supervisor was stunned for a moment. It's true you can make repeated exchanges. These are my mission items. Please check it. Lu Mu Yin handed a spirit beast ring to the supervisor. The supervisor took the spirit beast ring to check with some doubt. Then his eyes were filled with shock. You actually caught 100 tier 6 leopard lion beasts. In the mission description, the level of leopard lion beast to be caught was set to tier 5 or 6. Most of the people who failed to catch leopard lion beasts before mostly caught tier 5, and if they could catch 20 or 30 within half a year, it would already be considered amazing. But this young female pupil not only caught 100 tier 6 ones, but also only took 1 month, which shocked the supervisor. My mission should be considered completed, right? Lu Mu Yin asked with a smile. The supervisor nodded hastily. It's complete. The supervisor took Lu Mu Yin's identity token and put 100 contribution points into it. Are you still going to accept the mission? I'm still going to accept this mission, and he'll accept it 4 times and turn in 4 times. Lu Mu Yin said with a smile. What? Accept 4 times and hand in 4 times? The supervisor swallowed and asked, you didn't catch 400 more leopard lion beasts, did you? Lu Mu Yin blinked and said, yeah, I still have 400. Can you let me take a look first? The supervisor asked. Lu Mu Yin took out another spirit beast ring and handed it to him. All 400 are inside. The supervisor took it and looked at it carefully. He was unable to express his feelings in words any longer. Where did this little girl come from? She was actually such an abnormal monster. He quickly made records for Lu Mu Yin 4 more times, then assigned 400 contribution points to her identity token. And the conversations and actions of Lu Mu Yin and the supervisor fell into the eyes of all the pupils in the hall, and the people instantly burst into an uproar. Chapter 347. Mission Maniac. There were whispers in the hall discussing Lu Mu Yin handing in the leopard lion beast mission. The supervisor thought of the importance that elder of the intersect placed on the leopard lion beast, and a kind smile showed on his serious face, and continued to ask, do you still want to accept this mission? Lu Mu Yin shook her head. No, I want to accept the mission of killing the flying prune beast. Killing 10 flying prune beasts is a rank 4 medium level mission, and the flying prune beasts aren't only fast flying type demonic beasts, but also very ferocious. Are you sure you want to accept it? The supervisor felt that his brain wasn't going to be enough to use anymore. I'm certain. Lu Mu Yin nodded. Aren't you going to think about continuing to take on a few more leopard lion beast missions? It's a good deal for you to earn 500 contribution points a month. The supervisor thought for a bit, then urged. No need. After completing the rank 4 medium level mission, once you'll have 500 contribution points. I might not even need 1 month, so I don't want to waste time on a rank 3 mission. Lu Mu Yin shrugged. The corner of the supervisor's lips twitched. What did she mean by a waste of time? Why did a rank 4 mission sound like it was as easy as buying cabbages when she said it? One must know that very few people in the outer sect would independently accept a rank 4 medium-level mission. They were mostly accepted by inner sect pupils. Where did this little monster from the outer sect come from? All right, since you want to accept it, you can give it a try. Seeing that the persuasion was useless, the supervisor registered for her, but ultimately couldn't help but remind her. But the mission and contribution points isn't important. Your life is. Pay attention to your safety. The duration of this task is still half a year. Thank you, supervisor. Lu Muyin took the identity tablet and didn't care about the gazes that were cast on her either, flying directly on her sword towards the mission location. As soon as she left, the supervisor said a few words to the two people beside him, then hurriedly left to report this matter. The pupils in the hall also exploded. That pupil named Lu Muyin actually completed the mission of catching the leopard lion beast alive. Amazing. A woman's face was filled with admiration. Yeah, 500 leopard lion beasts in a month. Her speed and ability are so awesome. A young man said with sparkling eyes. Maybe she asked someone for help or used some tricks? The pupil before who was dependent on Shuel Laner saw Lu Muyin's return and was originally here to watch a good joke, but who knew that the situation would be reversed like this. So she bit her lip, saying, the person beside her replied, ask someone to help? No one in the sect has completed this task. It should be impossible. Maybe she asked Elder Ao Rong for help. The woman continued to slander Lu Muyin's reputation, unreconciled. A pupil who just happened to come accept a task from the inner sect said with a disdainful smile, Elder Ao Rong was sent out by the sect leader to do some business a month ago, and there were several other elders who went with him. They haven't even returned to the sect yet. How can he help Lu Muyin? Find a more reliable excuse if you want to ruin someone's reputation. He hated people who ruined other people's reputation because of jealousy the most in his life. He had suffered a lot because of this once, so he couldn't help but sneer. Hearing his words, others all thought that it made sense. Someone who was disagreeable with Shuel Laner's faction said, and the mission she accepted just now was a rank 4 medium-level mission. If she didn't have a strength, would she go seek death herself? You can eat random food, but you shouldn't say random things. By the way, it was her and several others who slandered Lu Muyin's reputation before. The thing about Elder Ao Rong and Lu Muyin being relatives was also spread from them. A person who had a grudge against this woman stood up and said, they must be jealous of Lu Muyin, so they intentionally slandered her. How despicable. Those who could enter the sect and advance to become core pupils or inner pupils were naturally not stupid. Many people had also guessed that the previous rumors were probably all false. Maybe she just used some lucky methods to catch the leopard lion beasts. If we want to see whether she really has the abilities or not, then we'll know once she returns the hand in the next mission. Someone interjected. Everyone started chatting in the hall, but because of this situation, many people had changed their opinion of Lu Muyin. Of course, there were still those who were jealous of her and concluded that she found someone to help her. Come and read on our website, Wuxia World site. Thanks, this matter also spread quickly, and the headmasters of several schools were shocked. They then immediately paid more attention to Lu Muyin. In this way, another 10 days passed. After Lu Muyin returned again, she first went to the talisman school to listen to the lecture of an elder before going to the mission registration office to hand in the mission, then accepted another rank 4 mission. She could only take the previous rank 4 flying plume beast mission once, so the corpses of the remaining 40 flying plume beasts in her interspatial ring weren't taken out. And the news of her return was still widely spread. This time, more people believed that the reason she could choose a separate courtyard to live in was because it was a privilege she obtained through her strength. After all, the grade 4 missions were all completed by inner pupils. Among the outer core pupils, only the pupils who had also obtained individual courtyards and were the top 10 in rankings on contribution points could complete them. Time passed, and half a year passed like this. During this period, Lu Muyin kept accepting missions. Except for the talisman lectures every 10 days, she basically spent her time completing missions outside. Moreover, she already accepted rank 5 and 6 missions, and the time she took handing in these missions was surprisingly fast. According to someone's statistic, she accepted a total of 20 missions in half a year, and the most important factor was that she had never failed. In addition to maniacally accepting missions, her contribution points also advanced into the 90th place in rankings. Because of her strength and her speed in completing tasks, plus the fact that she had never failed, the pupils of the 8 Extremes sect all secretly nicknamed her Mission Maniac. On this day, she finished a rank 6 mission and went to the mission registration office to hand it in. The pupils who were queuing all revealed interest when they saw her come in. Many people were whispering amongst themselves, "The Mission Maniac is here. I wonder which mission she'll challenge this time?" Someone said excitedly. A pupil who had never met Lu Mu Yin said, "She's the legendary Mission Maniac? How beautiful! Not only is she beautiful, but she's also very strong." In half a year, she actually completed 12 rank 6 missions, and she's considered rather famous in the outer sect. How abnormally monstrous. Even Lu Yin, who's first in our outer sect, has never had this record, right? Nope. Lu Yin and the others will take a break after finishing a mission, but she basically never stopped. The discussion here was hot, while Lu Mu Yin ignored those fiery eyes and calmly walked to the familiar supervisor. "This is the mission item this time." The supervisor took over the mission item with a smile and checked it, then swiped the points to her identity token and asked, "What do you want to accept this time?" Hearing the supervisor's question, the surrounding pupils who were whispering quieted down and turned their attention to the two of them. "Won't accept anymore. They'll think about it when I have something I want to exchange first." Lu Muyin shrugged and smiled lightly. She used the contribution points and exchanged a lot of resources already. High-level ones required too many contribution points, but she didn't want to do missions for the time being. Compared to resources, what she lacked most right now was still spiritual stones. By the way, supervisor, do you know where you can earn spiritual stones in the sect? Lu Muyin blinked and said, "The type where you can earn a lot of spiritual stones." Chapter 348. The prodigal Scarlet Bee Empress, hearing Lu Mu Yin say that she wouldn't accept missions anymore. The supervisor was stunned. Just as he was about to speak, he heard her question, and the corner of his lips couldn't help but twitch. What did she mean by one where you could earn a lot of spiritual stones? If there was such a mission or work, I'd also like to do it. There are currently no missions or jobs that directly pay spiritual stones in the sect. Lu Mu Yin furrowed her brows slightly, then asked after a change of mind, "Then is there any trading place in the sect? One where you can trade with spiritual stones?" The Mission Maniac didn't become stupid after doing all those missions, right? This was what the people present thought. In fact, one couldn't blame Lu Mu Yin for not knowing. After all, ever since she first arrived at the sect, she was either in seclusion to advance to the core formation stage, or she was continuously doing missions outside, so she wasn't really familiar with the sect. Cough, cough. The supervisor coughed dryly and said with a smile, "There is a commercial street in the sect where you can trade with spiritual stones, and many pupils will go there to set up stalls. If you don't need some things, you can try selling them on that commercial street." This little monster had done so many missions, so she probably had a lot of nice things on her. At least, there would be no shortage of corpses of high-level demonic beasts. "I see. Then thank you, supervisor. We'll check it out in a couple of days." Lu Mu Yin smiled. "No need. If you're ready to accept missions, remember to come to me." The supervisor's attitude was very kind. Since the appearance of Lu Mu Yin, many long-standing missions had been resolved, and he had also been rewarded with a lot of contribution points in the past half a year because of it. Now, that Lu Mu Yin wasn't doing mission for the time being, it would be a lie if he said he wasn't disappointed inwardly. "No problem, they'll go back first." Lu Mu Yin greeted the supervisor, then left the mission hall. She didn't go to the commercial street immediately, but went back to her residence and slept well for 2 days. She didn't know that in those 2 days, when she slept, her own affairs were spread far and wide in the outer sect, and many people were looking forward to seeing what she would bring out to exchange for spiritual stones. 3 days later, Lu Mu Yin successfully entered the cultivation base of Middle Phase Sword Sovereign. This was also the result of her constant suppression, Otherwise, she would have been able to break through 2 months ago. After finishing, a red bee that wasn't quite yet the size of a palm waved its transparent wings and rubbed against Lu Mu Yin to express its hunger. The corner of Lu Mu Yan's lips twitched. Hungry again? Such a small body, yet eats the total of all the other spirit pets. If this went on, she'd die from poverty. Owner, Qi Huang, is hungry again. Bing Ji watched the little scarlet bee buzz around Lu Mu Yin and couldn't help but roll his eyes. Lu Mu Yin held her forehead. Her only remaining spiritual stones were all eaten up by this little fellow. Whoever dared say she was a prodigal, she'd fight whoever. Now, there is obviously someone who was more of a prodigal than her. 3 months ago, after she completed a mission, she found that the Scarlet Bee Empress emerged from the pupa. Because of the blood essence contract, it was very close to her. But after a while, she discovered a drawback. This little fellow could eat too well. Since tasting spiritual stones and pills, nothing else could match its taste. In 3 months, not only did it eat all the 30,000 spiritual stones she borrowed from Ling Fei Yang, but even most of her grade 3 pills were eaten. But it wasn't like there weren't any benefits eating maniacally like this. The Scarlet Bee Empress, from the moment of birth, was a Tier 4 demonic beast, and it only took 3 months to advance to Tier 5. Aside from the resources she provided, excelling talent was also an important reason. She tossed a grade 3 pill to it. When she saw its thin, small hands tightly hugging the pill and start to nibble, she instantly felt helpless. No wonder in the secret classic that Yi Qing Han gave her, there was a piece of advice that said if one didn't have enough spiritual stones, one best not raise a Scarlet Bee Empress. Now she finally understood why. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks Lu Mu Yin didn't name the Scarlet Bee Empress. She called it Qi Huang according to its wishes. This was the name of each generation of the Scarlet Bee Empress, and it had already accepted most of the inheritance memories. The Scarlet Bee Empress bore wisdom late, only at Tier 5, but its intelligence wasn't high. Only when it arrived at Tier 7, when it could start breeding scarlet bees, would its intelligence be birthed, so the current consciousness of this little fellow was somewhat dull. After cleaning up, Lu Mu Yin found that she wasn't familiar with the sect, and the so-called commercial street wasn't in the sect's introduction jade slip either. After thinking about it, she ran to the smithing school to find Ling Fei Yang and the others. As soon as Lu Mu Yin entered the smithing school, she attracted the attention of many people, and those gazes were filled with curiosity and inquiry. An old pupil of the smithing school secretly rubbed his hands and walked up to Lu Mu Yin with a serious-looking smile and asked, "Is there something junior sister wants from his smithing school? I'm here to find Ling Fei Yang. Can I trouble senior brother to help call for him?" Lu Mu Yin nodded and smiled. She was currently wearing a bright red dress with a beautiful figure, and her stunning face had grown a lot. Her beauty that could cause the downfall of a kingdom had long been prevalent. She wasn't that kind of shy and delicate beauty, but was like a delicate rose with thorns. The contradictory temperament of having some wildness in her elegance only made her even more prominent. No matter what she wore, as long as she just stood there casually, gracefully, she would just always be that attractive. Junior brother Ling went out to do a mission together with junior brother Mo of the array school, so junior sister is probably here in vain today. The young pupil smiled gently. Lu Mu Yin thought a bit, then asked, "Then may I ask senior brother, is Yin Jun here?" Junior brother Yin is in the smithing room. If junior sister want to find him, I can take you there. Then he'll trouble senior brother. Seeing that Lu Mu Yin followed a supervising pupil of the smithing school, the pupils of the smithing school also began to discuss in a whisper. "That little beauty is Lu Mu Yin, that mission maniac?" "Yeah. Otherwise, why would senior brother Lu be so diligent?" Just which son of a bitch said that Lu Mu Yin, that mission maniac, is big and tall, and was even more of a man than a man. Such a beauty can definitely be ranked among the top 5 of the sect. Those people are just talking nonsense with their eyes open. Isn't all just jealousy? I heard that female pupil of the array school that's been making up rumors has been having a pretty hard time lately. More than hard. I heard that after Elder A.O. Rome returned to the sect yesterday, he heard the rumors about the relative situation and went to the sect leader to rage. The headmaster of the array school already demoted the core pupil who secretly spread the rumors to an ordinary pupil. Serve her right. She's not as strong as the others, but still wants to gossip. This isn't the secular world, but don't tell me she wants to cause sect intrigue one. I heard that Lu Mu Yin was the champion of the Tianling Continental Tournament for Hegemony, and Elder Ao Rome snatched her from the elders of the other 5 major sects. Only those idiots would spread that kind of foolish rumor. So there's actually that. No wonder Lu Mu Yin can choose to live in a separate courtyard when she came to the sect. In the past, we couldn't snatch anything from the other 5 major sects, but this time, Elder Ao Rong actually snatched the first place, so it's natural to pay more attention to her. The inside story that broke out among the pupils of the array school also spread to the other schools on purpose, and even the inner sect began to hear the name Lu Mu Yin. Yin Jun was currently refining a low-grade saint treasure. He had already failed several times before, and this time, he was also about to fail. Hearing the telepathic transmission from the supervising pupil, he had someone bring Lu Mu Yin in. 1A play on the term palace intrigue or harem intrigue, or maybe even palace/harem fight, whichever you've heard. Basically, that pupil's making fun of all the drama that happens in palaces, which is usually in the secular world where there's still mortals who can't cultivate, and relating it to Lu Mu Yan's situation, LOL. Chapter 349. Give guidance. After Lu Mu Yin followed senior brother Lu into an underground smithing room, she felt a wave of heat hit her face. She looked around and saw that there was an underground fire in every smithing room here. The pupils of the smithing school could not only use the power of the underground fire, but it could also help improve their success rate. Yin Jun knew that the two entered, but he didn't speak. He kept staring at the saint treasure in the smithing furnace with his mental energy, sweat dripping from his forehead. He was a grade 3 smith and recently touched the bottleneck of grade 4, so he had been trying to refine saint treasures in hopes of breaking through. This time, it was also the last batch of materials he prepared for refining the saint treasure. If he failed to break through to grade 4, he would have to retreat for a while. Senior brother Lu, as a pupil of the smithing school, was also a high-level grade 3 smith, but he had no idea that this junior brother was almost going to break through to grade 4. Such talent was something that even very few inner pupils could match. No wonder the headmaster valued Yin Jun so much. He glanced at the smithing furnace in front of Yin Jun and gradually revealed slight pity. Although he didn't understand why the saint treasure refined by Yin Jun would have problems at critical moments. But after all, he had not yet reached that grade 4 level, though he could still feel that explosive energy. Lu Mu Yin walked beside Yin Jun, rubbed her chin, and looked at the refining furnace, then suddenly said, "There's something wrong with your fire control. The fire's too strong, so turn it down by a third." Yin Jun didn't expect Lu Mu Yin would say this to him. He was already prepared for the materials to be scrapped, but now that he heard her words, he decided to give it a try. So he reduced the firepower by 1/3. What he didn't expect was that, with the smaller firepower, the energy that was almost unable to resist an explosion also weakened. But according to common sense of smithing, his previous firepower was correct. The U spars contain a very gentle water element. It needs to be slowly evaporated with medium fire. Your previous fire was too big to directly roast it, so almost caused you to fail in refining your saint treasure. Lu Mu Yin saw that he was puzzled and kindly explained. Senior brother Lu's expression changed, and he asked, "But if the firepower of the refining is reduced at this time, the hardness will be affected when it's finally formed, and it won't reach the grade of a saint treasure. If the final result was a saint tool, then there was no point in improving." Yin Jun also had the same question inwardly. While controlling the intensity of the flame, as Lu Mu Yin said, he looked at her asking for advice. Who stipulated that the final flame of smithing needed to be a big fire? The temperature requirements below grade 4 are almost all due to the materials when smithing. The materials for smithing Saint treasures are very different from those you use to refine grade 3 Saint tools. Didn't you discover that? Lu Muyin had a serious look on her face. Yanjun suddenly felt as if he had caught on to something. You mean that the smiths above grade 4 all control the heat according to the materials when smithing? Not only do you need to control the heat according to the materials, but also understand the attributes of the materials. Just like the Saint treasure you're finding now. The properties of the U-spar and the bright jade glaze are complete opposites. If you added some vanadium power to neutralize the properties of the two, even if you used the heat earlier, you wouldn't have come close to exploding like that. If you don't add neutralizing materials, then you need to control the degree of firepower, so you must know the properties and characteristics of smithing materials. Also, you have to feel the changes of each material during the refining and fusion process with your heart, and turn them into a part of you, as if you're melting yourself into it. Then you'll definitely be able to break through to grade 4. Lu Muyin thought a bit, then made a few remarks. Yin Jun's eyes lit up and asked, I can feel that the U-spar is more harmonious with the other materials after removing the water element now, and the bright jade glaze is starting to soften. Should I increase the firepower now? Smart. Go to the forming stage according to your feelings. Don't bring in the fixed thinking when refining a Saint tool. The highest state of smithing is to comprehend it with your heart. After speaking, Lu Muyin turned around and walked not far away to sit on a chair, no longer prompting. Smithing was different to alchemy. Spiritual tools came from the hands of smiths, and each of their attributes, shapes, and uses were all different. There were only methods, but no formulas, and one needed to deeply comprehend it themselves. Yin Jun closed his eyes, and suddenly, there was a sense of enlightenment. He wholeheartedly probed his mental energy into the refining furnace to feel the changes of the materials in the furnace, controlling the firepower and fusion according to his understanding and experience of the materials. He gradually indulged in a strange state. Senior brother Lu was also staring at the refining furnace to observe the changes in it, and his eyes sometimes revealed confusion, other times enlightenment. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks 2 hours later, the refining furnace made a crisp sound, and a cyan light escaped from within it. Yin Jun grabbed, and a cyan bangle fell in his hands. Although the bangle didn't have too many decorations and appeared ordinary, but it had a faint sense of restraint. It's really completed. After refining this defensive bangle, Yin Jun's mood also changed a lot. He actually arrived at a grade 4 smith, as if it was a matter of course. Lu Muyin chuckled. Congratulations on becoming a grade 4 smith. You're probably the first grade 4 smith in the smithing school of the outer sect. It's all thanks to your guidance that I can become a grade 4 smith today. Yin Jun's eyes were filled with gratitude. If it weren't for Lu Muyin's enlightenment, he might not have been able to advance to grade 4 for many years because he had forced himself to a dead end. No wonder there were so few smiths grade 4 and above, and they generally didn't easily explain their own experiences to others. It turned out that it was because they had to understand the true meaning of smithing themselves. Lu Muyin smiled carefreely. It's all because of your talent. Senior brother Lu was also very excited right now. After hearing Lu Muyin's words just now, he also felt that he had grasped onto something, and he believed that he would be able to touch that barrier in time. It is better listening to junior sister Lao's words than reading 10 years of books. Even the elder of the smithing school hadn't mentioned these essences to us. You're also a high-grade smith, right? If Lu Muyin wasn't very familiar with smithing, then how could she possibly instruct Yin Jun to refine a Saint Treasure-level magic tool? In particular, her familiarity with smithing materials was better than them smiths. It not only made him extremely shocked, but he also admired her a little more. I only heard about it too. It's good that it's useful to you. Lu Muyin smiled faintly, obviously not wanting to say any more. When they realized that she was avoiding and didn't want to say anything, they tacitly stopped asking. Senior brother Lu looked at Lu Muyin thoughtfully and took this favor of her guidance to heart. Muyin, did you come to find me today for something? Yin Jun asked with a beautiful arc on his thin lips. He was now certain that Lu Mu Yin was definitely a smith, and her level wasn't low either. Just what kind of little monster was this woman? Was there anything she didn't know how to do? Now wasn't the time to ask her for advice, however. When he had an opportunity, he still wanted to find her to discuss the experience of smithing. Lu Mu Yin nodded. Are you familiar with the commercial street? Commercial street? I've been there a few times, but I wouldn't consider myself to be that familiar with it. Yin Jun thought a bit, then replied, as long as you've been there, that's fine. If you've got nothing to do right now, can you accompany me to the commercial street? Lu Mu Yin asked. No worries. It's my honor to accompany a beauty to the commercial street. Yin Jun said jokingly. Lu Mu Yin rolled her eyes at him. It's getting late. Let's go quickly. Junior sister Lu, I'm quite familiar with the commercial street. If you don't mind, I can take you both there. Lu Qian said with a smile. He became more and more curious about this junior sister who had a loud reputation in the outer sect. Taking her to the commercial street could also be considered a little repayment for the guidance just now. Sure, then ill trouble senior brother. It could save a lot of trouble if there was a supervising pupil of the array school take them. It'd be a waste if she didn't accept labor that was sent to her door willingly. Chapter 350. Release news: the commercial street was on a floating island specially designed by the 8 Extremes sect not too far from the main hall. When Lu Mu Yin and Yin Jun arrived, they saw people flying in and out of the island. After landing on the island, Lu Mu Yin observed the surrounding shops and pupils with great interest. The commercial street was very prosperous with rows upon rows, and the streets were bustling with people coming and going. So the commercial street is actually so lively. Lu Mu Yin couldn't help but sigh that the 8 Extremes sect was quite good at doing business, and the various shops could be seen to all have some backgrounds at first glance, and probably had involvement from each school. Lu Qian said with a smile, actually, the commercial street isn't so lively in the past. It's just that for the next 10 days, it's the annual Blooming Festival, so it attracted pupils from the outer sect and inner sect to join in the fun. Blooming Festival? Lu Mu Yin looked askance and asked in surprise. Lu Qian remembered that Lu Mu Yin had been in the sect for a year, but rarely came out to do any activities. Knowing that she didn't know, he explained with a smile. The Blooming Festival is actually a festival organized by shops of all sizes on the commercial street. Within the 10 days of the festival, the stores will sell many fine or rare items that aren't usually available for sale, with limited quantities every day, and the prices of other items are only 80% of the usual price, meaning that 2,000 spiritual stones could be taken off from 10,000. Yin Jun revealed some interest in his eyes. He had just run out of smithing materials now. Since it was so much cheaper, he had to buy more. However, Lu Mu Yin grasped the main point, looked at Yin Jun, and said, daily limited purchase means that the quantity of things is very small, so if you arrive late, it basically means you have no chance. The price is also only 80% of the usual, so there would definitely be many more pupils rushing to buy things. ITLL be useless if it's all sold out then. True. Is doing some festival just for this? Yin Jun asked with furrowed brows. Of course not. The Blooming Festival is about interacting and communicating. During the 10 days of the festival, as long as pupils wanted to trade things, they can set up a stall at a designated location on the commercial street, and there's no stall fee. This not only facilitates the communication between pupils, but also allowed the pupils who rarely go out be able to exchange for what they need. Lu Qian continued to explain with a smile. Lu Mu Yan's expression revealed an understanding, so that's how it is. Such festivals can indeed benefit each other. Junior sister Lu wants to buy something? I'm quite familiar with the shops in this commercial street, so I can introduce you to one or two. Lu Qian guessed that Lu Mu Yin was here to buy something. Lu Mu Yin shrugged. I'm not here to buy things. I'm here to sell things. You want to sell something? You're someone that lacks spiritual stones? Yin Ju knew that Lu Mu Yin had earned quite a lot of spiritual stones in the competition space. Lu Mu Yin rolled her eyes at him. Am I not short on spiritual stones? I'm recently dying of poverty. Not only did it cost spiritual stones and resources to cultivate herself, but she also had a huge expense to raise those picky spirit pets. The corner of Yin Jun's lips twitched. If Lu Mu Yin was considered poor, then what would they be? Beggars? I remember that you got at least 100,000 spiritual stones in the competition space. Don't say you spent it all. Nonsense. If I didn't spend it, I would not have a single cent right now. Lu Mu Yin sighed. It seemed that it was the first time she had been so poor. Yin Jun and Lu Qian couldn't help but hold their foreheads when they heard her say this. More than 100,000 spiritual stones was spent just like this. This woman spent money way too fast. Who could afford to raise her in the future? What does Junior's sister want to sell? The shops here also accept demonic beast corpses, crystal cores, pills, talismans, and such. Lu Qian said, do they accept spirit tools and saint tools and such? Lu Muyin asked after thinking for a bit. Come and read on our website, Wuxia World site. Thanks, the shops under the smithing school accept them, but the price isn't too high. After all, when they sell it themselves, they have to make a profit. Lu Qian paused, then said, if Junior's sister wants to sell magic tools, why don't you come here to set up a stall to sell them over the next few days? It should be higher than the price of selling them directly to the shops. That's an idea, but I don't know the general price. How about we first estimate the price of what I want to sell? When we set up a stall, if we can sell it at a high price, we'll sell it. If we can't, then we'll toss it to other shops. Lu Mu Yin rubbed her chin and felt that this method was feasible and safe. Yin Jun looked at her speechlessly and asked, you're not going to sell a lot of things, are you? I'm almost dying from poverty. Of course I have to sell a lot of things to pay for it. Lu Mu Yin glanced at him. She had way too many things she didn't use, and it was a waste for it to just sit there idly. Then she asked Lu Qian, senior brother, all the large shops here are set up by each school, right? It's also not a secret. Many pupils know it. It was because they knew that they were stores set up by each school that no pupils dare to cause trouble. They won't cheat people, right? Lu Mu Yin asked again. Lu Qian's eyelids twitched. This junior sister spoke too directly. They naturally want cheat people. After all, it will affect the school's image if it spreads. That's good. Let's go and have a look. Lu Mu Yin smiled. So from the first store, she kept taking out things and asking the manager in the store to estimate the price. After evaluating the price, she took the two people to the next store. Only after asking all the medium and large size stores in the city did Lu Mu Yin stop. Then Lu Qian used some connections to get a fairly front position in a cell phone trading area. Mu Yin, you actually want to sell so many things? Yin Jun asked in disbelief when he saw that Lu Mu Yin could take out so many different things each time she went to a big store for an estimate price. This woman actually had so many good things to sell. Did she not want to let people live? No other way, too poor. Lu Mu Yin shrugged, spreading out her hands. Lu Qian and Yin Jun glanced at each other and found each other's helplessness. She called herself poor when she could so easily take out so many good things to sell. How should they, the true poor people, feel? Then you're going to set up a stall today? Yin Jun asked. Lu Mu Yin winked at him and asked instead. Yin Jun, you've been in the sect for a year. You can spread some news, right? Yin Jun's handsome face stiffened. He just knew that this woman definitely didn't look for him simply to wander around the commercial street. But he still resigned to fate and said, I can. What news do you want to spread? Come here and he'll tell you. Lu Mu Yin whispered into Yin Jun's ear, saying her plan, then added, they'll set up a stall after you get things done. Yin Jun couldn't help revealing some appreciation after hearing her words. This woman was really as cunning as a fox. Lu Qian naturally heard what she said since he was close, and the corners of his lips couldn't help but raise. This was a good idea. The next day, there was gossip that spread within the sect. The mission maniac would set up a stall at the blooming festival for 3 days. Not only will there be a lot of saint tools, saint treasures, and talismans, but there would also be 4 kinds of top-quality grade 3 pills. What made many female pupils of the sect interested and crazy was that Lu Mu Yin even sold the legendary beauty-enhancing pill. The headmaster of the talisman school had also already taken it, and the effect was very good. Chapter 351. enchanting beauty in addition to the pupils of the sect who learnt that Lu Mu Yin was going to sell a lot of good things. The headmasters of each school also received the news. After hearing Ding Hao talk about this, Hualing Long, the headmaster of the Talisman School, not only didn't blame Lu Mu Yin for using her as an example, but also ordered Ding Hao to arrange for several pupils to go help, which also incidentally acknowledged the efficacy of the beauty-enhancing pill. The beauty-enhancing pill was a good thing. After taking it for a year, her skin was not only softer and firmer, but she also looked a few years younger. Most importantly, some lingering diseases from her Yin body type that had remained due to her cultivation were all eradicated too. The names of the two pills Lu Mu Yin wanted to sell were released, and it successfully attracted the attention of the superiors of the alchemy school, because no one in the alchemy school had refined these two kinds of pills before. They were even more curious about the two other pills that had not yet been named. The headmaster of the alchemy school felt as if his heart was bleeding when he heard Lu Mu Yin was going to sell a large amount of grade 3 pills. He originally only thought that Lu Mu Yin had the dual attributes of fire and wood at great achievement and was suited to be an alchemist. Yet who knew that she was already a grade 3 alchemist? Such talent and grade could be regarded as one of the best among the elite pupils in the inner sect. Just why did he let her be placed in the Talisman School in the first place? It wasn't that he didn't think that she got the pills from somewhere else, but after hearing the amount of pills she was going to sell, the superiors all dismissed this thought, and the most likely guess was that she had already advanced to a grade 3 alchemist. The alchemist school also sent several supervising pupils to observe it in a few days and buy a few of Lu Mu Yan's pills to study. Since the rise of the Lu clan on the continent, selling the beauty-enhancing pill, the female sword masters on the continent had all gone crazy. Especially after it was proved to be effective, they all rushed to the Lu clan to buy it, and would all pre-order it if they couldn't. The beauty-enhancing pills in the Lu clan's hands were sold in limited quantities for a limited time. Each time it was on the market, they were bound to be snatched up in a frenzy, and there were countless people who desired it yet couldn't obtain it. In fact, all 6 major sects sent people to buy it. After the beauty-enhancing pill was obtained, many great alchemist masters in the sects also started to study the ingredients of the pill, but they were all disappointed in the end. They had figured out some ingredients of several pills, but they just couldn't refine them. One was that there was no pill formula, so they didn't know the ratio of each spiritual herb, and also because there was a spiritual herb that they just couldn't figure out. 2. There weren't many of them that could find scarlet bee honey, which was a rare thing on this entire continent. The elders of the 6 major sects also knew that Lu Mu Yin had attracted scarlet bees to chase her, and how she shared the honey during the Tianling Continental Tournament for hegemony. The Lu clan also had no contact with grade 3 alchemists, so the 8 extreme sect superiors all deduced that the pill was refined by herself. After the news spread, many pupils from the entire sect, regardless of whether it was the outer sect or the inner sect, became interested. 3 days later, the pupils flew towards the floating island one after another. Lu Mu Yin called Yin Jun and Ling Fei Yang and Mo Ling, who came back from their missions early in the morning to help. When she arrived, other pupils were setting up stalls, and there were already several female pupils waiting at the stall she occupied. This must be junior sister Lu. An enchanting-looking woman walked to Lu Mu Yan's stall. After sizing her up, her eyes revealed a bit of surprise, but there was no jealousy. After all, the woman herself was also very outstanding in appearance. "Hello, senior sister," Lu Mu Yin shouted with a sweet smile. The enchanting woman giggled and didn't ask in a roundabout way. "Junior sister Lu, I heard that you're going to sell beauty-enhancing pills today. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site." Thanks she knew about the beauty-enhancing pills. Last time she went out on a mission, she saw her mother take it. Her whole person looked more than 10 years younger. After she took one, the effect was indeed good. It was just a pity that the Lu clan limited its quantity and time, and although she pre-ordered, she didn't know when she would get it. She could only go back to the sect in disappointment, and asked her clan to go to the Lu clan to pre-order a few and deliver them to her. As soon as she heard the news spread in the sect, she followed several pupils from the same school in hopes to buy a few. Today, I'm indeed selling some beauty-enhancing pills, but senior sister is already so beautiful. You still want to take it?" Lu Mu Yin blinked and saw the pleasant surprise in the woman's eyes. As a woman who didn't like being told she was beautiful, Lu Mu Yin would naturally not be stingy with compliments. What's more, this woman was indeed a kind of beauty that was beautiful and moving and full of enchantment, but not flirtatious. Moreover, this woman was wearing the clothes of the inner sect. Judging from the fearful gazes around her, her status shouldn't be low. After befriending her, it would be easier to inquire about news from the inner sect. When the woman heard Lu Mu Yan's words, she smiled more sincerely. Junior sister's little mouth is really sweet. But this senior sister still wants to buy a few pills to take. Didn't the beauty-enhancing pill also have the effects of maintenance and rejuvenation? The beauty-enhancing pill is a holy product for appearance and beauty. After taking the beauty-enhancing pill, it will definitely make senior sister more attractive and beautiful, glowing with charming brilliance, with flowers blooming upon seeing you and people loving you when they meet you, 16 years old every day. Lu Muyin tossed a bunch of good words out without even drafting, making Yin Jun and the others twitch their lips. This woman could really talk nonsense just to sell pills. But did this beauty-enhancing pill really have such an effect? They also wanted to give it a try. Giggle. The woman laughed and quivered with joy. "I wonder how you're selling this beauty-enhancing pill. I usually like beauties the most, and senior sister is also the first to come and take care of my business. The original price requires 20,000 spiritual stones each, but it'll now sell it to senior sister for 15,000 for one." Lu Mu Yin said with a smile. "Haha, little girl really is lovable. Then give me 10 pills." The enchanting woman tried a price with a smile, but she didn't have much hope inwardly. After all, the Lu clan only sold a limited 2 pills to each person. Moreover, the price Lu Mu Yin gave wasn't deceitful. As far as she knew, the price of the beauty-enhancing pills sold by the Lu clan in limited quantities was also 20,000 spiritual stones each. In the black market, it was even priced at 30 or 40,000, and it was still sold out. It could be seen how popular the beauty-enhancing pill was. This sweet little girl even gave her a discount of 5,000 spiritual stones each. She came from a superpower kingdom's superpower clan, and her paternal grandfather was even an elder of the smithing pavilion, so she didn't lack spiritual stones at all. She didn't care about such an amount of spiritual stones, but Lu Mu Yan's actions made her feel very comfortable. Lu Mu Yin pondered for a little, then said with a look as if she was going all out, "All right, I plan to limit the purchase of 2 per person, but today I'll make an exception to sell 10 to senior sister. Don't worry, little girl. Senior sister will remember this favor." The enchanting woman quickly took out the spiritual stones and handed it to Lu Mu Yin. After accepting the pills, she immediately opened the bottle and poured one out for a look. The pill was lustrous and full, exuding a sweet but not greasy fragrance. The enchanting-looking woman's face expressed even more joy. Because she had taken the beauty-enhancing pill before, she naturally knew that it was not only real, but the quality was also very high. "Little girl, the beauty-enhancing pills you took out are all top-quality grade 3 pills, which are even higher than those I bought at the Lu clan last time. If you only need 15,000 spiritual stones, you're making a loss, right? It's fine, I always do things as I want. I like senior sister at first sight, so price is nothing." Lu Mu Yin was telling the truth. She indeed had a good impression of this enchanting beauty before her. The enchanting woman also felt the same, although she was a lot older than Lu Mu Yin, but she was just pleasing to her eye. "Little girl, Jean say, will befriend a friend like you. You can come find me in the smithing school in the inner sect if you have anything you need in the future." Chapter 352. What about being low profile? Hearing Jean SES words, some of the people standing around couldn't help but gasp. Jean say, the The direct disciple of the headmaster of the smithing school, had a great reputation in the inner sect and ranked in the top 30 in the inner sect's contribution points, ranking and rising soul steel 1. Not only was she beautiful and enchanting, her strength amazing, but her temper was also very tyrannical. She never gave any face to people who weren't pleasing to her eyes. She did things ruthlessly, was called a demoness, and was known as ferocious across the sect. Even the top 3 pupils didn't dare provoke this grandaunt. She was domineering and arrogant in the inner sect, and she did things unscrupulously, so her interpersonal relationships weren't the best, and there were many people who were afraid of her. But no one would have thought that she would show kindness to Lu Muyin just because she bought a few pills. This was truly unheard of, and many people envied Lu Muyin, a pupil of the outer sect, to be able to befriend Jin Se. Sure, if I'm bullied in the future, he'll definitely report senior sister's name. Lu Muyin raised an arc on her lips and blinked at Jin Se. Seeing the other party's beautiful watery eyes staring at her, Jin Se's heart suddenly softened, and her bright face revealed slight wildness. Good. If anyone dares to bully you, Laonyang will help you beat them to death. It was rare to find a woman she found pleasant, so it was fine to help. Hearing Jin Se's bold words, many people shuddered. Then thank you, senior sister. Lu Muyin knew that this was Jin Se's true temperament now. However, she liked people who were arrogant and domineering, but had a clear heart and had their own opinions. It was better than those who smiled gently on the outside but stabbed one in the back. I'll leave first, as I have something to do. Jin Se suddenly remembered something, then came to Lu Muyin's ear and said, Little girl, in the future, when senior sister goes to the Lu clan to buy beauty-enhancing pills, I wouldn't need to pre-order and wait right. No need. If senior sister needs to buy beauty-enhancing pills or other pills in the future, you can come to me directly and he'll still give you a 20% discount. Lu Muyin smiled lightly. Their voices were basically whispers, and Jin Se also used her elemental energy to isolate sound, so others only saw their relatively intimate appearance, which instantly terrified them. Little junior sister is really a wonderful person. When you have time, come to the inner sect to find senior sister. Jin Se patted Lu Muyin's shoulder, then stepped onto a silver-arced sword and flew away. Lu Muyin curbed the smile in her eyes. This senior sister was also very interesting and could be befriended. 5 beauty-enhancing pills are still available for sale today. First come, first serve. Each person is limited to only 20,000 spiritual stones, no second price. Lu Muyin said with a light smile when she saw the people around her looking at her with complex gazes. Hearing that there were only 5 beauty-enhancing pills left, many people rushed forward to buy them. Although Jin Se only spent 15,000 spiritual stones for one, but they didn't dare try to compare with that demoness. Those who lined up first successfully bought the beauty-enhancing pills and left happily, while those that didn't obtain any were disappointed and kept pestering Lu Muyin. After learning that Lu Muyin would sell 10 pills tomorrow, they made up their minds to queue up early next morning. Seeing that there were still a lot of people surrounding them, Lu Muyin took out a few saint tools and saint treasures and said, hitting the iron while it was hot, These are all made by great master smiths of various sects. Don't miss out when you pass by. Junior sister, how do you know that these magic tools were crafted by great masters of various sects? A large, tall man with a wild, handsome appearance walked up to Lu Muyin and swept the magic tools on the table with his gaze. Lu Muyin replied honestly, Because these are return gifts given to me by the elders of the various sects during the Tianling Continental Tournament for hegemony. Do you think they give away fakes? These were all things that Elder Ao Rong asked for from the other elders after the sect selection. Euphemistically, he said that since a junior gifted the seniors some rare century-old scarlet bee honey, then the seniors should also gift the junior a gift. So the elders could only take out there and use saint tools and saint treasures to gift Lu Muyin. Of course, even if it was something they didn't need and used a gift to someone, it wouldn't be that bad. After all, when at their status, if the goods were too poor, they wouldn't keep it on them either. Hearing what she said, The man's eyes showed a bit of interest. He picked up a saint treasure and looked at it with a smile as he said, "Indeed good. Why is June your sister willing to take it out to sell? Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site." Thanks, he wasn't actually testing anything. He was just curious. The defensive shield he held was a middle-quality saint treasure. How could Lu Mu Yin be willing to sell it? Lu Mu Yin spread out her hands to him and shrugged. "Because I'm poor, I have to sell it as a last resort. How about seeing your brother buy one?" When everyone heard her remarks, they couldn't help but twitch the corners of their lips. Didn't she just earn 250,000 spiritual stones from selling beauty-enhancing pills? But she's now shouting poor? And why did it feel like these saint treasures were worthless in her eyes? Did she know the value of these goods or not? "How are you selling this middle-quality saint treasure I'm holding?" The man was holding a small, scaled shield. Lu Mu Yin glanced at the shield, then said, 200,000 spiritual stones, no second price. Defense-type middle-quality saint treasures usually sold more than 200,000 at auctions. The price she gave was very moderate, as she didn't want to cause any trouble due to price. "All right, I want it." A faint smile appeared on the man's lips. His eagle-like eyes narrowed as he tossed a bag of spiritual stones to Lu Mu Yin and left. Lu Mu Yin put away the spiritual stones and watched his back. Although he restrained his aura and appeared harmless, but this man was definitely not simple. Moreover, the eyes of the people around him who were wearing the clothes of inner pupils slightly constricted when they saw him. Presumably, this man wasn't any ordinary person in the inner sect. Afterwards, regardless of what Lu Mu Yin sold, magic tools or pills, they were all sold out, which helped her earn millions of spiritual stones, and she instantly stepped into the ranks of the rich. With money, she was naturally generous, and she wasn't stingy with Ling Fei Yang and the other two who helped her for the day. She gave each of them 10 beauty-enhancing pills and asked them to come every day to set up a stall themselves. She wouldn't come. "Lu Mu Yin, you sure can make money." Yin Jun put away the beauty-enhancing pills. This woman spent money like flowing water, but her ability to make money was even stronger. He wouldn't come to sell these beauty-enhancing pills tomorrow. Next time, he would take this home to honor his mother and grandmother. They would definitely be happy, but he'll run out of money soon. Lu Mu Yin sighed, thinking of the prodigal spirit pets she had. The three didn't want to talk to her anymore. She was just here to emotionally attack people. "By the way, elder cousin brother, here are 10 beauty-enhancing pills. Help me sell them here tomorrow." Lu Mu Yin wouldn't show mercy to call her own elder brother to work. Ling Fei Yang took the pills dotingly and said with a smile, "No problem." Lu Mu Yan's every move today was passed on to the ears of the various headmasters. When they heard that she sold the things gifted by the elders of the 5 other major sects openly, they didn't know whether to cry or laugh. A.O. Rong was originally drinking tea and playing Go with the sect leader. After hearing the report, he spat out his tea. He couldn't help but hold his forehead. What about the low profile they spoke of? With such blatantness and high profile, it was difficult not to let the inner pupils pay attention to her. When those little brats were prepared, how could she compete for a spot? A.O. Rong, you don't have to worry about that girl. She must have her own plans in doing this. The sect leader was disgusted with the teacup A.O. Rong spat at and replaced it with a new one. That's true. That girl's as shrewd as a fox. Add her name to the mission next month. The sect leader pondered for a bit, then said, A.O. Rong jerked his head up at the sect leader and said, "That mission is very dangerous. After all, she hasn't grown up yet. If something happens, ITLL be more than a simple loss. The premise of growth is to grind." The sect leader replied with only a sentence. All right. One never mentioned before, but supposedly a ranking system for how strong people are. Chapter 353. 6 major sects joint mission. Lu Mu Yin sold out all the things she wanted to sell, went to buy a batch of spiritual herbs and materials for refining talismans, then went back to her courtyard for closed-door cultivation. She refined all the spiritual herbs she bought into grade 3 and 4 pills, and she was just finishing up refining all the grade 3 pills that she was going to send to the Lu clan before leaving closed-door cultivation. Bing Ji, send these pills to the Lu clan and give it to my father. Lu Mu Yin packed the pills into an interspatial ring and handed it to Bing Ji. Bing Ji knew the responsibility was heavy, so he swallowed the interspatial ring into a small space in his abdomen. Don't worry, owner. He'll definitely deliver the pills. Come back soon. He'll send you a 1,000-ly communication talisman if anything happens. Lu Mu Yin put some things for Bing Ji into an interspatial ring. If you have any urgent matters, use the communication talisman inside to send a message. Bing Ji rubbed his head against Lu Mu Yan's shoulder, spread his wings, then looked at Meow Meow and the others and flew out of the sect reluctantly. The 8 Extremes sect pupils couldn't go out often, but Lu Mu Yin had applied for permission to let her spirit pets exit freely with Ao Rong's help. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to replenish the pills for the Lu clan's pill shop. After she finished refining the pills, she took out the purchase materials and started refining grade 3 and 4 talismans. One day, just after she finished refining a grade 3 invisibility talisman, she heard Elder Ao Rong's voice transmission. After cleaning up, she stepped on a sword and flew to the council hall. As soon as she stepped into the council hall, several gazes of surprise fell on her. Lu Mu Yan's eyes also revealed slight surprise, because she didn't only see Gu Xiu here, but also Jin Se and the wild man who bought her middle-quality saint treasure. Pupil pays respects to sect leader. Lu Mu Yan walked up to the sect leader with a smile and greeted with a pupil greeting, neither humble nor arrogant. The sect leader smiled gently and said, "No need. I have an important thing to tell you today." Sect leader, please tell. Lu Mu Yan's expression didn't change, calm and composed. The specific situation is like this. The sect leader's gentle expression revealed a somewhat cautious look. Our 6 major sects recently discovered some suspicious signs in an area, and the pupils who guarded nearby disappeared inexplicably after going to investigate. However, it's strange as their soul tablets haven't broken, so each force decided to send a few pupils to investigate. And you are all candidates for this mission. Lu Mu Yin was silent, then asked, "May I ask why sect leader chose me to participate in this mission?" Aside from her and another pupil who was wearing the outer sect uniform, the rest were all inner sect pupils. She was more curious about what the superiors of the sect were planning. "Are you afraid?" The sect leader asked instead. Lu Mu Yin chuckled. "I'm not afraid. I just want to know the reason. You and Wan Wenjia are the 2 new outer core pupils we are very optimistic about, so we decided to let you both go out to train and sharpen your skills." The sect elder didn't hide too much either, although the mission this time is very dangerous. But the inner core pupils will lead you both to complete the mission, and your safety is still guaranteed. Are there any new pupils from other sects participating? Lu Mu Yin thought about it and asked. Naturally, yes. Excellent pupils from various major sects will not be hidden or concealed. Without being tempered, you won't be able to achieve great things in the future. The sect leader constantly observed the changes in Lu Mu Yan's mood and expressions, but he found that it never changed since she entered the door to when he finished speaking about the mission. She was still indifferent and calm, and he couldn't help but feel an appreciation for her. Of course, you can also choose to give up, and it won't affect your current status in the sect. He'll go. Since the sect leader and the elders gave me this opportunity, I will naturally cherish it. Lu Mu Yin replied firmly with a smile. After she finished speaking, the 2 elders and the sect leader present were quite satisfied. If she chose to retreat, they wouldn't force it, but she would no longer be worth their efforts to raise. The path of cultivation for a sword master was filled with ups and downs to begin with. To go against the heavens required the courage to dare to challenge danger. This time, your leader is Gu Xiu. You could discuss anything with him. The sect leader stroked his beard and instructed. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, pupil obeys. Sect leader, this pupil still has one thing to ask. Lu Mu Yin said with a smile. Gu Xiu and the others looked at her curiously, guessing whether she wanted to ask for protection or to want some powerful magic tools to protect her. I would like to ask if there are any rewards if we complete this mission. For example, contribution points or spiritual stones. She blinked and asked with a smile. As soon as this question came up, everyone present couldn't resist twitching the corners of their lips. Was she obsessed with money now? She received so many contribution points from doing missions before, and sold things to get so many spiritual stones, but it still wasn't enough for her to spend. Are you short of contribution points and spiritual stones? A.O. Rong could barely suppress a smile as he asked. Lu Muyan's appearance like a little miser when blinking made her look innocent and pure, so when she asked about rewards, no one felt dislike for her, but instead felt she was very straightforward and lovable. Moreover, it was normal to get rewards after completing missions in the sect. Lu Muyan nodded fiercely. Of course I lack them. Then she looked at A.O. Rong with sparkling eyes and said, Does Elder A.O. want to support me a bit? A.O. Rong rolled his eyes at her in amusement. This old man is poorer than you. Lu Muyan pouted in disbelief, but she also no longer bothered about this topic. She still understood when to stop. This mission is considered a rank 7 mission. As long as you can complete the mission and return, each of you will be rewarded with 3,000 contribution points, and the outstanding pupils will be rewarded 4,000 contribution points. The sect leader wasn't planning to let them go for nothing. Yes. The several people answered in unison. All right. You may all leave to prepare to depart tomorrow. The sect leader waved to the several people and signaled that they could leave. Pupil will retire. After the several people left the door to the hall, Jinsei walked beside Lu Muyan and said with a smile, Junior sister, I didn't expect for us to meet so soon. Yeah, senior sister, we're really fated. Lu Muyan nodded with a smile. Senior sister is optimistic about you. Go back and prepare well. If you have Buddhist tools, you'd better bring it with you. See you tomorrow. Jinsei said, Thank you for the reminder, senior sister. See you tomorrow. Lu Muyan felt that Jin's reminder was still very useful. Jinsei and Lu Muyan left after greeting the others casually. The others also greeted each other lightly, then left separately. Lu Muyan actually felt that apart from Jinsei and Gu Xiao, although the other people were a little curious about her, but they all felt a sense of distance and rejection, and they might even feel that she was likely to be a hindrance. She didn't care about their attitude, but was a little more interested in this mission. Mo Yin, do you think that the devilish energy was created by some sort of devil race? Lu Muyin asked Mo Yin, who was on her shoulder as she poked him. In the immortal cultivation world, in addition to the spiritual realm where she was located, there was also the devil realm, and there was a devil race in that realm. They didn't cultivate by absorbing spiritual force, but instead cultivated by absorbing true evil force, so the two races often battled between realms. Mo Yan's eyes revealed some gravity. There's indeed a devil realm here, but they're not a rare race. They're composed of ghost cultivators and devil cultivators, because the realm they're in are all composed of dark evil and true evil force too, so they're called the devil race. So, the one in my pendant belongs to the devil race. A playful arc rose on Lu Muyan's lips. Won the same Ruan as Ruan Li, the principal of Empire Academy. You can find information about characters, items, etc. Not quite up to date, but we'll update it soon. Warning, there will be some spoilers. However, I don't think they're related. I'm uncertain, but I thought to point it out since Chinese readers would have most likely noticed this. But this surname isn't too uncommon, I don't think. Also, randomly, I was just searching up how common the Ruan surname is, and, fun fact, the three surnames, Ruan, Chun, and Li, apparently make up almost 60% of the Vietnamese population. Ruan is actually the origins for Nguyen, Chun for Tran, and Le for Li. 2. I have a slightly hard time translating dark evil and true evil force. They're the best translations I can think of for now, though I'm sure there are better ways to translate this. So I may potentially change it if I find better translations. And could have very different meanings depending on the context it's written in, which makes it difficult to translate. But you get the gist in this context, evil-related stuff. Chapter 354. Dispatched. Mo Yin knew of the ghost cultivator's existence in Lu Muyan's soul-nourishing wood pendant, and he was actually a little afraid of that person inwardly. He's from the devil race. At least, he must have been before he became a soul. He could still judge this much from his aura. It's a pity that he hasn't responded since he devoured those people last time. Otherwise, it would be good to call him out and ask about the devil race. Lu Muyan snorted coldly. Speaking of which, I almost forgot about my previous deal with him. When he wakes up, if he dares to hide his identity, it'll burn him with my spirit flame until he's filled with so much grief he wishes he was dead. She didn't even get a chance to ask about the memories extracted from the souls of those black-clothed people that he devoured before that damned ghost fell into a slumber and hadn't yet woken up even now. Who knew what he was doing? That devil cultivator of unknown origin always made her feel that he was a big hidden danger, but she had already did something like swap Thunder Monarch out, so it seemed taking in a devil cultivator wasn't a big deal. I wonder if that Thunder Monarch advanced to Tier 10 or not yet. Lu Muyan rubbed her chin. Ever since Thunder Monarch signed a contract with Lu Muyan, he used a double skill to exchange his body in the competition space. But he didn't rush to leave the competition space, even after she did. It wasn't until she rushed to the Lu clan did he take the opportunity to sneak away quietly. As he expected, the Almighties didn't find out. Tier 10 isn't so easy to advance to, it's still too early. Mo Yin said lightly. The spiritual force of this interface was very thin. Even if one had excelling talent, they wouldn't advance so quickly. Anyway, he still owes me favors. I'll let him do them next time I meet him. Otherwise, it'll be a loss if some random slaps him to death somewhere outside. Lu Muyan said with a smile. Mo Yin rolled his eyes and said, He's not that idiot Bingji. Even Bingji wouldn't die. He wouldn't die even more. With the current strength of the Thunder Monarch, he could walk anywhere he wanted on this continent. Even if he encountered the #1 master of this continent, it wouldn't be difficult for him to escape. That's true. Early the next morning, Lu Muyan, Gu Xiao, and the others left the sect on a flying-type magic tool. The people who participated in the mission this time were Gu Xiao as the leader, Jin Se, Xiao Yi, Yukong, and Peng Yang from the inner sect. The rest were her and Ruan Jia, who was also from the outer sect. Although she and Ruan Jia were both core pupils of the outer sect, but Ruan Jia's attitude towards her was extremely cold, and he was more harmonious with the inner sect pupils. It was good that the several people weren't hostile to her, just indifferent, but of course she wouldn't use her warm face to stick to other people's cold but one. Ruan Jia had been a highly anticipated 4-attribute sword master since entering the sect, had the rare thunder attribute, and had excelling talent and amazing strength. If it weren't for the fact that there was still more than a year left until the selection to enter the inner sect, he would have probably been a pupil of the inner sect by now. His preferential treatment in the sect was no worse than Lu Muyan, and even slightly higher. Most importantly, he was also a disciple of one of the ancestors of the sect. As long as he entered the inner sect, he could be promoted to a direct disciple of that ancestor. He had the capital to be proud. Towards Lu Muyan, he couldn't say he liked nor hated her, but he didn't acknowledge her. He was still a little uncomfortable when the sect leader placed them on one level. Along the way, the several people sat cross-legged and cultivated, and they basically said nothing. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks. When they were about to reach a city, Jinsei looked at Gu Xiao and asked, Senior Brother Gu, are we going to go directly to that place or meet up with the pupils of the other sects first? The place we're going to is Falling Ghost River. There's a small town nearby, and the pupils of the 6 sects agreed to gather there. Gu Xiao replied, because the mission hadn't been disclosed openly before, so the several people didn't know that the mission location was at Falling Ghost River, and they couldn't help being stunned when they heard it. Lu Muyan had also heard of Falling Ghost River. It was a relatively mysterious place on Tianling continent. It was said that there was a bottomless abyss under the giant peak on the other side of the Falling Ghost River, and there was a perennial dark, evil aura overflowing. Even ghost cultivators and devil cultivators dared not approach too deeply. Otherwise, they would be corroded by the dark, evil aura and lose their mind. However, although the vicinity of the falling ghost river was dangerous, but it was also a natural resource pool, and many mercenary parties and wandering cultivators would go deep into it to complete missions or look for fortuitous opportunities. If those pupils disappeared inexplicably near the falling ghost river, it wouldn't be too weird, right? Jinsei paused, then asked, "There are many perils in that area. Maybe they're just trapped somewhere." That's also possible. So in addition to investigating any news, the most important thing is to find and rescue the missing pupils of the various sects. Gushio sighed and continued. This matter was discovered and reported by the pupils of the Heavenly Secret Palace. What the specific situation is, we'll have to wait until falling Ghost River to hear it from the pupils of the Heavenly Secret Palace. So that's how it is. It's probably not a trivial matter to attract the attention of the Heavenly Secret Palace. We should be more vigilant. Yukong, who hadn't spoken a word along the way, said, "Of course." Gushio nodded, looked at the several people, and cautioned, "This time, each sect will send elite core pupils to participate in this mission, so try not to have any conflict from the people of the other sects." Because the 8 Extremes sect always came last in the grand competitions within the last century, they were indeed inferior to the other sects in overall strength, so when they encountered a joint mission, they would always be ridiculed by the pupils of the other sects, and conflicts often occurred. Of course, not all pupils would be so rude, but most of the elite pupils of various sects were arrogant people and always had a disdainful attitude towards their 8 Extremes sect, so it was easy to cause disputes and even physical fights. Humph. As long as they don't provoke Lianyang, ITLL be fine. If they're that unfortunate to do so, then as if I care which sect's pupil they're from, they'll still beat them up to a pulp. Jinsei snorted coldly. She just didn't have a soft temper. When she was on a mission last time, she was angered by a pupil of the sword sect and beat him half to death. Naturally, her ferocity spread to the ears of pupils from other sects, but she didn't care about reputation. It's better to relax. Although Xiao Yi had an eagle-like wild temperament, but his heart was as intricate as dust, the mission this time is no small matter, and it's best to consider the bigger picture. Gushio agreed. As long as they don't really bully us to our door, if it's just verbal provocations, then let's not care for the time being. After he finished speaking, his gaze deliberately lingered on Jinsei and Lu Muyin for a while longer. In fact, this sentence was mainly for the two of them. Everyone knew Jin Ses' domineering demonist personality, but he was the only one who had seen Lu Muyin's performance in the competition space. This little woman appeared stable and quiet right now, but she was a master of causing trouble. When she was violent, she was shocking, and was not outdone by Jinsei. He didn't tell the others about Lu Muyin's past, however. It would be meaningless even if he did. It was best to just let them experience it for themselves. He believed that the barriers the several people set up against Lu Muyin would completely vanish after the mission was completed. Lu Muyin naturally noticed Gushio's meaningful gaze. The corner of her lips hooked up. Her thoughts were the same as Jin Ses. It would be best if they could cooperate in peace and interact peacefully with each other, but if someone deliberately wanted to squish a soft persimmon, then she would definitely not be polite. One that she wouldn't go up with burning eagerness only to face their coldness. Chapter 355. Woman, I missed you. The speed of the flying magic tool that Lu Muyin and the others were riding were comparable to Tier 7 demonic beasts, and it took them 12 days to arrive at Falling Ghost Town. When they arrived at the inn agreed on at Falling Ghost Town, the pupils of the other sects had already arrived one after another. The pupils of the 8 Extremes sect are here. It's really going downhill these days. The weakest are even putting on airs, always the last to arrive. A pupil of the Vast Mountain sect pursed his lips. Another pupil sneered. Of course the weakest will arrive last, so as to show their status at the bottom. As soon as Lu Muyin and the others entered the door, they heard the ridicule of the two. She furrowed her brows slightly. It seemed that the conflicts between the 8 Extremes sect and the Vast Mountain sect wasn't only between the superior elders, but also between the pupils. What did you say? Dogs can't spit out ivory one. Do you believe that Laonyang will beat you to death? Jean Ses' temper was relatively hot, and she was instantly ignited when she heard such ridicule. As soon as the other pupils looked up, they saw a glamorous and enchanting woman's face filled with hostility, and she appeared as if she was ready to act violently any time. The pupils of the vast mountain sect suddenly chocked and felt that they had no face. Although they were afraid of this female tyrant dragon too, but they immediately stood up and shouted, "Do you think we'll be afraid of you, Demonis?" When Guxiu heard the words of the pupils of the vast mountain sect, they couldn't help but feel a little angry too, so they didn't stop Jinsei. Just as it appeared as if the swords on both sides were about to be drawn, a magnetic and clear voice sounded. "Stop!" When everyone looked over, they saw several white-clothed people walk downstairs. The leader was a man with a handsome appearance and extraordinary temperament. As soon as he appeared, it seemed that the brilliance was only lit for him. Lu Muyan's eyes revealed interest. It really was Ming Xiu, that guy. As soon as Ming Xiu raised his eyes, he met Lu Muyan's, and his dark eyes, as deep as the sea, were filled with a smile. Seeing that the person who came was the leader of the Heavenly Secret Palace, the people on both sides immediately restrained their warring attitude. "You two sects are both here to participate in the mission this time. I hope that you will not delay major events because of trivial things. If there is any enmity or conflict, it will not be too late to wait for the contest during the sect's grand competition." Ming Xiu walked over in front of everyone leisurely as if taking a walk through a garden, his voice gentle, but it contained a chilling ferocity. "Brother Qi is joking. We were just saying those things. How could we actually fight?" The leader of the vast mountain sect smiled shyly. They didn't want to offend Qi Xiu, the #1 person of the inner sect of the Heavenly Secret Palace, for such a reason. Jinsei naturally knew Qi Xiu. This man was also the pupil she feared most in the Heavenly Secret Palace, and there was a sneer on her enchanting face. "As long as the dog doesn't bite people, we naturally won't beat dogs." The vast mountain sect had always been at odds with their 8 extreme sect. Each time they entered a secret realm or the land of inheritance together, many pupils would be lost in the other's hands, so the 2 sects had the most grudges. "Demonis, do you really think we won't dare do anything?" The pupil of the vast mountain sect was furious and asked fiercely, rolling up his sleeves. Just as Jinsei was about to explode, an invisible pressure enveloped the entire hall. Except for Lu Muyan, the pupils, including the several other sects, revealed looks of astonishment. The pupils of the Heavenly Secret Palace, however, looked at Ming Xiu with admiration, especially the 2 women behind him whose eyes were so hot that they could burn someone. Lu Muyan glanced at Ming Xiu. This guy really was the focus wherever he went, and the eyes of many of the female cultivators here were practically glued to him. "Humph, we'll see true power at the grand competition." The leader of the vast mountain sect was shocked by Ming Xiu's pressure and snorted coldly. Jinsei also fearfully retracted her aura and stopped talking. Qi Xiu was too strong and was not someone they could touch. Seeing that the 2 were no longer fighting, Ming Xiu curbed the aura released from him, walked to a chair in the hall, and sat down. "Everyone, sit down. Let's talk about this mission first. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site." Thanks hearing his words, the people who were standing all found a place to sit down. "Brother Qi, what's happening with the disappearance of the pupils at Falling Ghost River this time? How was your honorable 3 sects investigation?" The leader of the Sword sect asked cautiously. Ming Xiu's eyes were light. "We sent people to investigate after we received news of the disappearance of the guarding pupils nearby, and found that there might be devil cultivators nearby, but their soul tablets weren't broken, so there's just a feeling that something wasn't right. As for the detailed information, I don't have it here. It was precisely to investigate this matter that the Heavenly Secret Palace initiated the 6 sects mission this time." "I see. Then this matter is rather difficult." The leading pupil of the medicine sect furrowed his brows. "It would be troublesome if it was a devil cultivator who caused the trouble. Devil cultivator methods were ruthless and sinister, and they were even stronger than them sword cultivators at the same stage. Everyone rest for the night. Let's go to Falling Ghost River tomorrow to investigate for ourselves. The entire inn had been reserved by the 6 major sects, with 1 room each. After separating, the moment Lu Mu Yin entered a room, she was hugged from behind, and the familiar scent lingered on the tip of her nose. "Woman, I missed you." Ming Xiu hugged Lu Mu Yin's waist and placed his head against her neck. And Mo Yin, who was standing on Lu Mu Yan's shoulder, was also shoved down by Ming Xiu. Mo Yan's dark eyes exuded a cold aura, and with a cold snort, he dashed into the spirit pet ring. Out of sight, out of mind. But why was he still so upset inwardly? He really wanted to tear Ming Xiu's thick face off, but he held back because of Lu Mu Yin. Lu Mu Yin would think of him from time to time since she discovered Ming Xiu was unique to her, so she didn't resist his hug. Your identity changes rather quickly. Lu Mu Yin chuckled lightly. Ming Xiu smelled the clean and refreshing fragrance of medicine on Lu Mu Yin, and the restlessness in his heart gradually subsided. His temperament was usually indifferent and unfeeling, but he never thought that one day he would fall for a woman. Although they didn't meet many times, but he basically had all of Lu Mu Yan's news in his hands. Each little bit more that he got to know her, he missed her a little more, and he fell deeper and deeper. With a thought, Ming Xiu stretched out his hand and formed a few Tao seals at will. The entire room was surrounded by a high-level spirit isolation array. Can't help it. I joined the Heavenly Secret Palace to investigate something, so I can't reveal my identity as the Hall Master of the 9-layer Hall. Lu Mu Yin saw that he could easily set up a grade 5 spirit isolation array, and her eyes deepened. She relaxed her body and let him hold her. "You're a grade 5 array master?" Ming Xiu kissed Lu Mu Yan's ear and whispered, "I'm a grade 7 array master." He didn't want to hide anything from Lu Mu Yin. He liked her, so he would never be vague when he should be frank with her. Lu Mu Yin was startled and sighed that this guy's talent was truly heaven-defying. But towards the fact that he didn't conceal it from her, she still felt rather comfortable about it. Your cultivation base isn't only middle phase sword sovereign that everyone sees, right? Lu Mu Yin leaned against him and continued to ask. I used a secret skill to hide my cultivation base. I'm actually a sword saint. Ming Xiu replied with a chuckle. Did the fact that Lu Mu Yin asked these questions mean that she had begun to sincerely accept him? One meaning a filthy mouth, dogs, can't utter decent words, spit out ivory. 2, it technically translates to female Tyrannosaurus, but did dinosaurs even exist then? Haha, but the words Tyrannosaurus can be separated into violent and dragon, so I decided to go with Tyrant Dragon XD. 3, this is just politeness by adding Gui before certain words. In this case, honorable sect. This can also be used to speak of countries, like. Not often used in everyday conversations, though, and more formal. A more common usage might be meaning your honorable surname, and you would often reply with your name. It's still rather formal and courteous, and there are other ways to ask for a person's name. Chapter 356. Secret talk. Hearing that Ming Xiu's cultivation base had already reached Sword Saint, Lu Mu Yin revealed a rare expression of surprise. Your cultivation speed is so heaven-defying. Ming Xiu chuckled. It's all right. Lu Mu Yin rolled her eyes. Others secretly called her little abnormal monster, but in fact, Ming Xiu was a big abnormal monster. Actually, when we met before, my cultivation base was sealed with a secret skill, so you don't have to curse me in your heart. Ming Xiu took Lu Mu Yan's hand, walked to the chair, and sat down, holding her on his lap. Lu Mu Yan's brows and eyes curled with her smile. She raised her eyes and asked, "How did you know that I'm cursing you for being an abnormal monster inwardly?" A guess. The way this woman rolled her eyes just now was so cute. By the way, you said before that you'd tell me a secret when we met again. Is it convenient to say it now? Lu Mu Yin knew that although Ming Xiu had sealed his own cultivation base, but his speed of cultivation definitely wouldn't be slower than hers. She was now more interested in the secret he had spoken of. In addition to sword cultivators on this interface, there are also the Devil race, Sea race, and Demon race. The predecessors of the Devil race are actually human sword masters, but the interface they are on is relatively special, so they enter by cultivating the path of the ghost and path of the devil. But after some interfaces are corroded by the true evil force and the dark evil force, resources such as spiritual items would gradually decrease, so they would invade and occupy other interfaces to snatch their cultivation resources. Ming's voice flowed out, very melodious. Lu Muyin furrowed her brows slightly. You mean that our interface is a target for the devil race from another interface? Yes. According to the information I collected over the past few years, the devil race may invade our interface and plunder resources. Ming Xiao nodded. Then it has something to do with the Heavenly Secret Palace and the 8 Extremes sect? Lu Muyin didn't forget Ming Xiao's hint in the cultivation space. The place where the Heavenly Secret Palace and the 8 Extremes sect were built on both have an evil pit, but they were all suppressed and sealed by an array. But I suspect that there are devil race spies in the superiors of the 6 major sects, but they're hidden very deeply. Ming Xiao said solemnly. So that's the case. The founders of the Heavenly Secret Palace and the 8 Extremes sect sure are bold. Aren't they afraid that the dark evil force that overflows from the evil pit will corrode the pupils of the sect? Lu Muyin narrowed her eyes. No wonder the devil cultivator and her pendant wanted her to go to the 8 Extremes sect. So he wanted to use the evil pit to cultivate. Both sects have the strongest array masters on this continent. After the joint seal, the dark evil force won't overflow, and its benefits outweigh the dangers, so they naturally will choose the benefits. Although the evil pit is dangerous, but the resources nearby are bound to be extremely rich. It's understandable for the 2 sects to occupy it and establish a sect. Moreover, sealing the evil pit in the sect can also prevent devil cultivators on this interface from expanding their power and improving their cultivation. Ming Xiao explained. Isn't there a legendary, true evil land under the cliff of the falling Ghost River? Then why aren't the 6 major sects sealing that? Lu Muyin asked in confusion. Ming Xiao placed his head on her shoulder and inhaled the delicate fragrance on her. The location is very mysterious. There will often be a dark, evil vortex, then a space rift will appear. The experts of the 6 major sects also try to seal it, but they didn't know where to begin and also lost many experts, so they could only give up after that. With the experts of the 6 major sects being unable to enter and seal it, the devil cultivators and ghost cultivators naturally couldn't go too deep either and use its power to cultivate. So the 6 major sects just kept their pupil station on the periphery and gave up the idea of sealing it. With dark, evil vortexes and space rifts appearing, then the bottom of the cliff with true evil may be the spatial weak point of this interface. Lu Muyin's brows knitted deeper. If this interface was really invaded by the devil race, then it could be troublesome. She had to speed up the growth of the Lu clan. At the very least, they must have the ability to protect themselves. Surprise flashed across Ming Xiao's deep black eyes. His woman's insights and intelligence really shouldn't be underestimated. Yes. So if the devil race wants to invade our interface, then the cliff is likely to be the place where the interface's barriers are broken. There's nothing you can do to stop it, Lu Muyin asked, turning her head sideways. Come and read on our website Wuxiao World site. Thanks. Ming Xiao kissed her cheek. None. I've been to that place. There are dark, evil vortexes and space rifts everywhere, and there's even space turbulence. It can't be penetrated at all. But even if the devil race really wanted to invade, it would cost a lot. If they can enter this interface through that place, then we can only fight. True, we should just better guard against the future. Lu Muyin thought, then asked, Are you afraid that the 2 evil pits of the Heavenly Secret Palace and the 8 Extremes sect are also weak points of space, so you entered the sect to investigate? And investigate the hidden spies of the devil race at the same time. Ming Xiao continued. 1,000 years ago, the devil race invaded this interface, but they were finally expelled by the powerhouses of this continent at a heavy price, but also left a lot of devil cultivators here to lurk. Do the superiors of the 6 major sects know about these things? Lu Muyin asked. They definitely know that the devil race wants to invade Tianling continent. Sealing the 2 evil pits is also to prevent the devil race exploiting the loopholes. We only need to act according to opportunity. When the sky falls, there are still those high-level powerhouses to hold it up. Ming Xiu said. Lu Muyin nodded. With her current cultivation base and strength, she indeed couldn't intervene in the affairs of the devil race. They would just confront soldiers with generals and stem water with earth. Do I need to do anything in the 8 Extremes sect? You don't have to do anything. Just pay attention to whether there are any suspicious devil race people or not, but don't act rashly either. Pass the news to me and he'll handle it. Ming Xiu wouldn't be able to bear the woman he liked to take risks. Sure, Lu Muyin didn't want to deeply inquire about Ming Xiu's identity. She knew that there must be a reason for him to be so concerned about the devil race. Ming Xiu hugged Lu Muyin tightly, then said after a while, mercenaries and wandering cultivators are disappearing at the Falling Ghost River recently. Be careful when doing missions and pay attention to safety. Then he placed a golden crystal in her hand. If we act separately, if you're in danger, crush this crystal and it'll arrive immediately. All right. Lu Muyin held the crystal, which still contained Ming Xiu's warmth. In order to investigate the disappearances of the pupils of the 6 major sects, the pupils of the several sects would eventually have to split up to find clues. Yin, aren't you curious about my true identity? Ming Xiu asked in a low, sexy voice. The corner of Lu Muyin's lips twitched. What the hell was Yin? But it appeared that it was actually the first time someone called her Yin. Only I can call you Yin in the future. Ming Xiu naturally didn't miss Lu Muyin's expression, and he said domineeringly with a chuckle, as you like. Lu Muyin looked at Ming Xiu with amusement. Hearing him call her like this, she didn't feel a sense of disagreement. Instead, because his sexy voice that called out her name was filled with penetrating emotional power, it made her heart tingle, unable to resist. You haven't answered my question yet. Ming Xiu's slender fingers wrapped around a strand of Lu Muyin's black hair to play with. I'm very curious, but I don't want to know right now. I guess you'll uncover it slowly. Lu Muyin raised her eyes and looked at Ming Xiu seriously. It was boring to know right now. Wasn't it more interesting to learn it little by little herself? As expected of the woman I like. Ming Xiu laughed happily. Lu Muyin was like a secret classic that attracted him to read it page by page. Each page opened would make him fall in love with her even more. He didn't want to turn to the last page to see the finale. So he also hoped that he would become Lu Muyin's secret classic, letting her read page by page to understand him. This was their way of penetrating each other's hearts. They were actually the same kind of people. Chapter 357. Sudden change at Falling Ghost River. Early the next morning, Ming Xiu left Falling Ghost Town with the pupils of the 6 major sects and rushed towards Falling Ghost River. Along the way, aside from them, many mercenaries and wandering cultivators came out from the deep mountains in various directions near the Falling Ghost River. Why are you all still rushing to the Falling Ghost River? It's been very weird recently, don't you all know? A wandering cultivator saw that their group was rushing towards the Falling Ghost River and couldn't help but caution them. Ming Xiu smiled lightly and asked, "May I ask, cultivator friend, what kind of weird things are happening in the Falling Ghost River?" The water of the Falling Ghost River has recently turned black, and there are often mercenaries and wandering cultivators shrieking in the forested mountains. When others arrive, all they see are dried corpses, and their blood essence had long been sucked dry. The wandering cultivator sighed. In the past, although there were dangers lurking everywhere in Falling Ghost River, but the attacks came mainly from demonic beasts. Now it's very strange. The number of mercenaries and wandering cultivators inexplicably dying are continuing to increase, and people are panicking. Most of them came out of the deep forest to prepare to leave. So that's how it is. We're pupils sent by the 6 major sects to investigate this matter. I wonder if cultivator friend has any other news? Ming Xiu continued to ask. They were all wearing the unique uniforms of the six major sects, so one could see even without introducing themselves. There was nothing to avoid. The man thought a bit, then said, I heard someone say that every night there will be a desolate flute sound from the deep forest. Then many mercenaries or wandering cultivators will spontaneously rush in the direction of the flute sound, but they never return. There's nothing else. After all, I haven't seen it with my own eyes. Good luck to you all. Thank you, cultivator friend, for your caution, Mingxiu said politely. The wandering cultivator glanced at them with some pity, then left quickly. Brother Qi, do you think what he just said is true? The leader of the sword sect appeared solemn. If it's as what he said, many mercenaries and wandering cultivators all became dried corpses, but the soul tablets of the disappeared pupils of our six major sects hasn't yet broken, indicating that they're still alive. What he said should be true. As for why the pupils of the six major sects are still alive, that's what we need to figure out, Mingxiu said lightly. The others had their own thoughts, but their expressions weren't as relaxed as when they had just arrived. 2 days later, when they arrived at the falling Ghost River, most of the pupils revealed dumbfounded expressions. What entered their eyes was a wide and turbulent river in front of them that was no longer clear water, but was so dark that the bottom of the river couldn't be seen at all. From time to time, fish leapt out of the water, but their color was also dyed black. There was a layer of mist-like black air floating above the falling Ghost River. Not only was there no disgusting odor or blood, but it even exuded a faint, sweet fragrance. What's this? A pupil who had once come to the falling Ghost River exclaimed. When he came before, the water of the falling Ghost River was crystal clear, and the fish were all normal colors. Apart from the quick flash of pleasant surprise in Lu Muyan's eyes, many others were slightly frightened, and their expressions changed over and over again. Mingxiu furrowed his dashing brows. He didn't know why the falling Ghost River turned black, but he felt that it wasn't that simple, and the black aura that spread from the river wasn't dark evil force. You know what that black water is? Mo Yin stood on Lu Muyan's shoulder and looked at the falling Ghost River with a light gaze, but his heart wasn't so calm. No matter how knowledgeable he was, even he couldn't understand why the changes in this river formed. After he signed the natal contract with Lu Muyan, there was a tacit understanding between them, so he could feel an inexplicable excitement that she was restraining. Something good is about to be born. No wonder there are devil cultivators causing trouble. Lu Muyan's expression was clam, but there was a bit of joy in her voice transmission. Something good? Mo Yin asked in surprise. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, Lu Muyan said with a smile. The materials for my water element natal magic tool is right here. You mean the black water here is changing because it's a prelude to the birth of a spiritual item? Mo Yin asked in realization. Yes, but I believe there are very few people who know about it. Lu Muyan rubbed her chin. But the people of the devil race who remained on this continent might know something, so they appeared near falling Ghost River. If she hadn't wandered around the devil interface in search of a special kind of spiritual herb once, she would never have known of that spiritual item that was very attractive to the devil race. She believed that the sword masters on Tianling continent didn't know about that thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't be expressing horror after seeing the changes in falling Ghost River, but ecstasy. What kind of spiritual item is it? Mo Yin was also very curious. A kind of heaven-rank spiritual item called the obsidian fluorite condensed from evil force and water essence. If a devil cultivator obtains it, it could help them successfully perfect their devil methods. If we obtain it, we can refine a water attribute natal magic tool and could even comprehend the water element because of it. Its level is not at all lower than the heavenly frost golden essence I obtained before. The spiritual items in this world were divided into mortal rank, earth rank, heaven rank, and divine rank. There were very few spiritual items above earth rank, and were exceptionally rare, not found even in thousands of years. I'm afraid it's not easy for you to steal food from the devil race's mouth. Mo Yan's eyes were filled with a slight smile, and his tone was filled with gloating. Lu Muyan rolled her eyes at him. When those devil race appears, It'll be time for you to appear. The corner of Mo Yan's mouth twitched. This woman sure ordered him around with ease. Yan, do you know anything? Ming Xiu's voice sounded in Lu Mu Yan's sea of consciousness. Ming Xiu, the change in the falling ghost river isn't a bad thing, but a good thing. Lu Mu Yan explained to Ming Xiu what she said to Mo Yan. Since she decided to like this man, then she would be sincere. Although Ming Xiu was surprised, but he believed Lu Mu Yan's words, and his lips curled up. Then isn't the obsidian fluorite here an easy gain for us? Lu Mu Yan just liked the domineering arrogance of Ming Xiu, as if looking down upon the world. Her eyes narrowed as she smiled. Of course, this is a land without owners. What those devil cultivators are snatching, we can naturally snatch it too. The two exchanged a tacit glance. Lu Mu Yan used her mental energy to carefully investigate the situation in Falling Ghost River and estimated time. Brother Qi, what do we do now? The leader of the medicine sect asked cautiously. Ming Xiu took his gaze off the Falling Ghost River and asked with a light smile. Do any of you have any suggestions? There are deep mountains on all sides of the Falling Ghost River, and the one in the middle is the Dark Evil Cliff. We can't go there. If the other three are like what the wandering cultivator said before, then the pupils who disappeared from our 6 major sects are very likely to be captured and hidden. Why don't we look for it separately for a bit? The leading pupil of the Sword sect thought for a bit, then suggested. The leading pupil of the Spirit Tamers sect nodded in approval. This is a good idea. After all, gathering together to find it isn't only a waste of time, but we're a large target too. Although the pupils of the other sects didn't speak, but they also revealed approval. All right, then we'll act separately. Everyone has a distress signal from the 6 major sects. If you encounter any danger or any special circumstances, immediately send a signal. Ming Xiu said lightly. All right, the pupils of the several major sects discussed again before leaving. Gu Xiu also flew towards the deep mountain on the far left with Lu Mu Yan and the others. Chapter 358. Prodigal Spirit Pets. The pupils of the Sword sect entered the deep mountain on the left with Lu Mu Yan and the others, but after entering and addressing each other, they separated. When Gu Xiu took Lu Mu Yan and the others into a dense forest, their speed gradually decreases. This mountain is too quiet. Everyone be careful. Gu Xiu held the long sword in his hand and said cautiously to everyone. The other people also appeared solemn, and not only activated an elemental energy shield, but also held magic tools in their hands, highly concentrated. Lu Mu Yan's eyes were indifferent, and she didn't activate the elemental energy shield. Her current mental energy had already reached the level of a sword saint, so any disturbances could be reflected to her immediately. Although it was quiet here, but there wasn't much danger. Junior Sister Lu, don't be too careless. Yukong furrowed his brows when he saw Lu Mu Yan's carefree look. He really didn't know what the sect leader was thinking to actually ask Lu Mu Yan to follow them to complete the mission. Wasn't this the classic dragging them back? Although Lu Jiao was also a core pupil of the outer sect, but his talent was incredible, plus he was already a grade 4 array master. Lu Mu Yan couldn't be compared with him at all. The other people also revealed some helplessness in their eyes. Did they have to protect Lu Mu Yan too? Jean Sei furrowed her willow brows. Yukong, since the sect leader asked Lu Girl to follow, he naturally has his reasons. What does your gaze mean? She was a person who distinguished between like and hate, and she definitely would either curse or wildly beat those she didn't like. I don't mean anything by it. I just hope that junior sister Lu can protect herself when she's in danger. Yukong said without an expression. Lu Mu Yan chuckled. I don't need the several senior brothers to worry about my safety. You can all just take care of yourselves. If you don't like me, then I'll do it alone. She had a faint smile on her face, but there was no warmth in her eyes. Could it be that she had the words, "It'll drag you down," written on her face? Yukong didn't expect Lu Mu Yan to talk back, and he was even more displeased. He snorted coldly. That's what you said? I did say that. Lu Mu Yan nodded. I'm responsible for my own life and death. Even if I really died, I don't need anyone to go explain anything to the sect leader. Guxiao glanced at Yukong and motioned for him to stop talking. When Lu Mu Yin exploded, it wasn't that much weaker than Jin Se, that demoness. When that time really came and she was really angered, then she'd definitely turn around and leave. How could he explain to the sect leader when that happens? All right, let's first observe whether there are ambushes around. Yukong turned his head and took a deep breath. It was the first time he was confronted like this by an outer pupil. Although he felt extremely uncomfortable, but it wasn't good to go against Guxiao. After all, although this person didn't look like it, but he was in the top 10 on the strength rankings. Lu Mu Yin pouted her lips, bored, and spread her mental energy to check the distance. Mo Yin, can you use your demonic sense to sweep thousands of li away? Lu Mu Yin said telepathically. Mo Yin rolled his eyes at her. This woman could also use her own mental energy to investigate 1,000 li away, but she becomes lazy each time. He sighed helplessly. All right. He discovered that the wise and mighty him was no longer that majestic demon king that he used to be. Not only did he completely land in this woman's demonic claws, but he was also willing and resolute. The last ray of sunshine disappeared, and night gradually fell. The surroundings were still eerily quiet. There's a cave in front of us. Let's go rest for the night. Guxiao knew that the night in the deep mountains was very dangerous, so he suggested. All right. After entering the cave, everyone found a place. Jin Se sat down beside Lu Mu Yin while the others were on the other side. Lu Mu Yin preferred to enjoy life, so she carried a tea set anytime, anywhere. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, she took out the spiritual tea and the century-old royal jelly, then began to brew it. After a while, the fragrance of tea overflowed in the whole cave, and it grew misty. Senior sister, try the honey tea I brewed. Lu Mu Yin only brewed 2 cups and handed one to Jin Se. Jin Se's eyes lit up, took a sip from the cup, and her enchanting face was filled with smiles. Junior sister, your high-quality spiritual tea paired with century-old royal jelly is sweet and mellow. It's the best tea I've ever had. Guxiao and the others looked at each other helplessly. They were completely ignored by these 2 women. Drinking royal jelly every day can improve your appearance and beauty. Senior sister can bring some back to drink in the sect. With a thought, a bottle of royal jelly landed in her hand, and she handed it to Jin Se. Along the way, Jin Se's defense of her all landed in her eyes. This person's and her own temperament were quite similar in some respects, especially the distinction between love and hate. Jin Se was stunned for a while, but didn't take it immediately as she said with a smile, no need. The main ingredient for junior sister to refine the beauty-enhancing pill is this Scarlet Bee royal jelly. You should keep it for when you're refining pills. Senior sister, just accept it. I still have a lot. Lu Mu Yin shoved the bottle to Jin Se with a smile. Jin Se no longer refused. Then thank you, junior sister. Smelling the fragrant spiritual tea, Guxiao and the others felt thirsty, but they were slightly embarrassed to ask Lu Mu Yin for it. Miao Miao and Qi Huang usually also love honey tea very much. As soon as they smelt the fragrance, they came out, and each spirit pet drank a cup. Qi Huang then rubbed against Lu Mu Yin's wrist again to please her. The corner of Lu Mu Yin's lips twitched. This little thing only just finished the honey tea and was hungry again. Did you have to eat so well? But with no choice, she took out a bottle of grade 3 elemental nourishing pill and placed it in her hand. Qi Huang happily flapped its wings, grabbed a pill, and began to nibble at it. Seeing this, Miao Miao also came over and said in a sweet, tender voice, "Owner, I'm hungry too." Lu Mu Yin smiled speechlessly, poured out all the 7 or 8 pills in the bottle, and Miao Miao swallowed them in one breath. After completely devouring the pill, Qi Huang continued to ask for pills. Lu Mu Yin took out another bottle and stuffed a pill to it. These spirit pets became more and more able to eat and were even more prodigal than her. Meanwhile, her seemingly inadvertent actions frightened and stunned everyone in the cave. Junior sister, Is it the grade 3 elemental nourishing pill in your hands? Gushio couldn't resist asking. Yeah. Lu Muyin nodded and continued to feed. Hearing her answer, the several people were in chaos as if in a storm. Junior Sister Lu, do you usually feed your spirit pets like this? Xiaoyi pressed his lips and asked. Grade 3 elemental nourishing pills were known to the sword masters of the entire Tianling continent because they were sold by a pill shop supported by the Ming Chamber of Commerce Alliance, and they were crazily contended for. The last time he returned to his palace, he had received 2 pills. After taking them, its effect was really good, not only able to nourish one's elemental energy and consolidate one's origins, but it could also improve one's cultivation base. It was just a pity that although the pill shop regularly sold grade 3 pills like this elemental nourishing pill, but it was limited. If one wanted to buy it, they even needed to pre-order. Most importantly, one might not even be able to buy it with money. But what did he see now? A pill costing 20,000 spiritual stones, each sold in limited quantities, was actually used by Lu Muyin to feed her spirit pets. The scarlet bee honey that couldn't be bought even with money was used by her to make tea. Did she know the value of these things or not? They don't like to eat the pills received from the sect's resources. Lu Muyin nodded with a bit of pampering in her eyes. These were her life and death partners, so she naturally wouldn't be stingy. The corners of the several people's mouths twitched. What did it mean that they didn't like to eat the pills received from the sect? Those are also grade 3 pills. They finally knew why Lu Muyin asked questions about contribution point and spiritual stone rewards after the sect leader ordered the mission. This woman was simply a complete prodigal lady. It was the first time they saw someone's spirit pets being treated with such privileges. At this time, they had to admit that even they weren't living as well as Lu Muyin's spirit pets. Lu Muyin naturally knew what these people were rethinking, but as an alchemist, how could she be willing to treat her spirit pet unfairly? If they liked to eat pills, then they could eat it. It wasn't like she could afford it. Junior Sister Lu, do you know how many spiritual stones elemental nourishing pills cost? Xiaoyi thought about it and asked. Lu Muyin looked up at him inexplicably. I know. You use pills that cost 20,000 spiritual stones each to feed your spirit pets, and you feed so much at a time. Don't you feel distressed by it? Gushio couldn't help but interject. Although he had advanced to Sword Venerable, but it was impossible for him to feed spirit pets like Lu Muyin did using grade 3 pills as if they're candy. Not distressed. If these people knew that it wasn't only grade 3 pills, but even grade 4 pills she often fed her spirit pets, she didn't know how distressed they'd be. Are you short of spiritual stones? Peng Yang, who was silent all the way, suddenly asked. Lu Muyin smiled lightly and said, I am. The batch of spiritual herbs she purchased before were already refined into pills. After returning, she needed to buy another huge batch. She lowered her eyes and looked at the ice bangle on her. This bangle had the effect of stimulating the growth of spiritual herbs, but unfortunately was linked to cultivation base. With her current cultivation base, it would take a year or 2 to raise all the spiritual herb saplings or seeds to grow. Of course, the ability to ripen the spiritual herb saplings into century-old mature spiritual herbs in only 1 or 2 years represented that the ice bangle was already amazing. She suspected that this was a divine tool, or maybe even a divine treasure. She had planted a few herb gardens in her courtyard, which would become a great fortune when harvested. If Junior Sister Lu is short on spiritual stones, why don't you sell me some elemental nourishing pills? How about I offer 30,000 spiritual stones for one? Peng Yang said with a smile. The pill shop that cooperated with the Ming Chamber of Commerce Alliance sold it at 20,000 spiritual stones, but the price had more than doubled in the black market, and it may even be impossible to obtain. His clan was not only the #1 clan of a superpower kingdom, but also owned a mineral vein. He didn't lack spiritual stones, but if he was able to take elemental nourishing pills long-term, then it would be great help to him. Before, his clan relied on connections to go to the Ming Chamber of Commerce Alliance to make reservations and only snatch 6, and only 2 fell into his hands. He never imagined that the pills they snatched and contended for to buy would be used by Lu Muyin to feed her spirit pets. He, who had been deeply attacked mentally, could only offer her a deal, hoping that she would give him some face. At Sword Venerable Cultivation Base, 1 ordinary grade, 3 pills efficacy wasn't too obvious, but the elemental nourishing pill was different. While nourishing one's elemental energy and consolidate one's origins, it could even compress elemental energy to make it become purer. Such pills were still very desirable, even at their level. Lu Muyin thought about it, then nodded. All right, they'll sell you 5. Although these people always felt that she would drag them back, and even had a cold attitude towards her, but when they were in the dense forest before, they, including Yukong, would constantly pay attention to her surroundings. If anything happened, they would save her right away. She didn't know why they would do this, even after she promised that they didn't need to explain anything if something happened to her. But it also proved that the several people weren't bad. This also changed her view of the several people. As expected, most of the pupils of the 8 Extremes sect were relatively united as in the rumors, and it was all right to fight a little inside. But at critical moments, the hearts of the people could truly be seen. High-level powerhouses had their own pride, and maybe the fact that the sect leader placed her on the same level as them made them feel unfair. After all, she had never shown her true strength. Thinking of this, she was a little speechless. She had observed the pupils from various other sects before in the inn, and in the end, found that her cultivation base was still at the bottom. Great! Junior sister is really straightforward. A sincere smile appeared on Peng Yan's face. Although this junior sister could drag them back, but her personality wasn't unpleasant. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks seeing that Peng Yan's transaction with Lu Muyin was successful, everyone except Yukong also offered her kindness and wanted to buy. She didn't favor one over the other and sold it to them all. Yukong secretly regretted that he was too impulsive during the day. Now he clearly wanted it, but he couldn't open his mouth. Gu Xiu saw Yukong's flickering eyes, thought for a bit, then said to Lu Muyin, Junior sister, can you sell a few pills to you senior brother you? They were going to work together in a mission, and he also hoped that the entire party would be united and there would be no more disagreements and disputes, so he wanted to use this to ease the awkwardness between the two that occurred during the day. Yukong didn't expect Gu Xiu to speak for him, so he also borrowed this latter to step down. I indeed want to buy a few. I wonder if junior sister Lu still has any? Sure. Lu Muyin tossed a bottle containing 3 pills to him. If it weren't that this person talked bad about her, but subconsciously protected her with his actions, she would be too lazy to repair her relationship with him. I'm sorry about what occurred in the day. Yukong took the pill and still felt a little uncomfortable. Remembering what occurred during the day, he felt that he was a little too stingy compared to Lu Muyin, so he cupped his fists and said, I've forgotten about what happened in the day. Lu Muyin smiled. Lu Jiao also bought 5 pills of elemental energy pills from Lu Muyin. He pressed his lips together and put away the pills, and was no longer so indifferent towards her. Lu Muyin was able to take out so many pills to feed her spirit pet and sell it to them, indicating that these pills were definitely refined by herself. Otherwise, how could she have squandered such a large amount of rare grade 3 pills? At this time, they all thought inwardly that, in fact, although this junior sister's cultivation base wasn't that good, but her talent in alchemy was very strong and wasn't entirely useless. It was just a pity that she would actually go to the talisman school to cultivate. She really was unpredictable. Early the next morning, they hurried along a path towards an eerie situation-prone area on the map. During the day, the deep mountains and forests were quiet again, until evening, when the sun was about to set, a desolate and sad sound suddenly reverberated in the air. The several people froze, activated their elemental energy shields, and prepared for battle as they made their way towards the sound of the flute. Gradually, the sound of the flute became gentle and desolate, and pity was aroused unconsciously in the several people, and their eyes gradually became a little lax. Lu Muyin narrowed her eyes, and with a flip of her hand, an emerald green flute appeared. She placed it to her mouth and blew a tune. Cheerful and smooth notes leapt out from the flute, instantly breaking the peace. The several people who were indulging in the sound of the flute also regained their clarity, and there was a lingering fear in their hearts. The desolate flute sound just now actually had the effect of bewitching their mind. Although they hadn't completely indulged in the flute sound, but if they were exposed to the enemy's sight in such a state, then it would be extremely dangerous. Hearing Lu Mu Yan's melodious flute tune, breaking the flute sound with a circle of invisible power, a strange feeling emerged in the several people's hearts. They never thought that Lu Mu Yan, who had the lowest cultivation base, would not only know sonic wave methods, but also pulled them out of the desolate sound's influence. Their hearts were mixed with flavors and didn't feel good, but gratitude was also real. Because time was short, and the situation was so critical that they couldn't express their gratitude. The figures of the several people quickly disappeared into the dense forest along with Lu Mu Yan's flute, and they arrived near the desolate sound in a short while. Yet who knew that they would see a man in black holding a flute on the big tree ahead of them, and the surrounding dense forest was suddenly covered by a black light curtain, and they were completely covered in it. "We've fallen into an array arranged by the other party," Lu Jia said with an ugly expression. Chapter 360. Deliberately provoked. The area covered by the array was very wide, and it seemed that it had been arranged for a long time. As long as one stepped into this territory, it would be activated automatically. The man in black standing on the big tree turned around and faced Lu Mu Yan and the others with an eerie smile on his slightly pale face. "I didn't expect a few big fish to come this time." The uniform of the six major sects had always been very conspicuous. After so many years of open and secret fighting, he knew at a glance that these pupils were from the 8 Extremes sect. As soon as his voice fell, a man and a woman also loomed from 2 other big trees. The middle-aged man who just appeared looked at Lu Mu Yan and Jinsei in the large array and licked his dry lips, chuckling harshly. "Kiki, I didn't expect there would be 2 such beautiful women this time, sending themselves to my door to become my cauldrons. Wonderful." Ha! The woman who just appeared was dressed in a thin black gauze dress. The waves on her upper body were looming, her bright red lips pursed, and she looked at the several people like she was looking at some goods. The men this time, sure, are average. I want the one who looks wild and handsome. The others look like white-cut chicken one. Hearing the woman's words, their expressions, including Xiao Yes, who was mentioned, turned dark. Aside from Guxiu, who appeared a little more ordinary, the others were all rather handsome. And although they were indeed inferior to Xiao Yi in terms of stature, but they definitely weren't white-cut chicken like the woman made them out to be. Either way, they were being disliked. Can this array be broken? Guxiu looked at the opponent's cultivation base, and his heart sank. The 3 of them were all sword venerable cultivation bases, and the leader holding the flute was even an advanced phase sword venerable. It was truly tricky. Lu Jia took out an array compass and inspected around, his face changing over and over again. This is a grade 4 array. I just advanced to grade 4 array master, and I don't have a deep grasp of some essentials, so ITLL take at least 10 days to break this array. What if we attacked forcefully? Yukong asked. Attacking forcefully also needs a weak point to be found first, but the weak point of this array has been covered up. I haven't found it yet. Lu Jia sighed. At this time, the expressions of the several people weren't good. They couldn't wait 10 days at all. If they couldn't break this array, they may be finished by the 3 devil cultivators opposite today. Release the distress signal. Jinsei said. Lu Jia shook his head and said, "This array has a restriction that seals all transmissions, so the distress signal can't be released." Jinsei and the others were stunned. Then a look of anxiety rose on their faces. "Try it. If it doesn't work, well, think of other ways." The several people watched anxiously as Guxiu took out the fireworks used to seek for help and lit it. A small colorful ball leapt into the sky above, but it couldn't break through the black light shrouded around them from the array. It really failed. Gushio furrowed his brows. The several people kept thinking of ways, and even took out magic tools to attack the array, but it was all useless. Lu Muyin didn't join their attack, but instead took out her array compass to investigate around. The several people didn't stop her when they saw it, but they didn't have any hope. They heard that Lu Muyin was a grade 3 array master, but Lu Jia, a grade 4 array master, couldn't even break the array, so how could she break it? Kiki, you don't have to do this in vain. Our boss spent a lot of effort to set up this grade 4 array. An advanced phase sword venerable who came before was even trapped to death in this array, let alone you all. The middle-aged man laughed a few times. Why are you talking so much nonsense with him? The unattractive woman glanced at Lu Muyin and Jin Se with disgust on her face. You want to bring those two women back to be a cauldron? I sure think it's a better choice to slice up their face, suck their essence, and toss them down the mountain to feed the wolves. She hated beautiful women the most in her life, and the two people who were trapped in the array could no longer be described as beautiful, but definitely absolute beauties that could cause the downfall of a kingdom, which was intolerable. The middle-aged man's expression changed and said, "They're my first-class cauldrons, don't have any ideas about them. Go take that man back to enjoy first. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site." Thanks, the woman's face sank, then smiled enchantingly. That's fine too. It won't be much better even in your hands anyway. She had seen how this person tortured female cultivator cauldrons, and their looks of preferring death over life was quite comforting. The unconcealed words of the two made Jin Se utterly angry, but at this time she could do nothing, and the despair in her heart slowly rose. Was she really going to be captured by the other party and be used as a cauldron? No, she'd rather die in that case. You look so ugly and still dare to come out and covet handsome men. I think the two of you should be a dog couple instead. Lu Muyin inserted a few Taoist seals into the array that enveloped them when the others weren't paying attention, then looked up at the man and the woman, speaking slowly. No one expected Lu Muyin to speak so suddenly. Gu Xiao and the others looked at her with disapproval. Provoking the other party at this time, does she really want to be captured to be used as a cauldron? Who are you calling ugly? The woman's expression was a little distorted. It was the first time she heard someone say she was ugly. What she cared about the most in her life was this face. Lu Muyin chuckled. Of course I'm talking about you. Look at you. Your eyebrows are drawn so dense and thick. Your eyes are hanging. Your nose is short and stump. Your mouth is so red with lipstick. And when you appeared just now, I thought you were some monster that crawled out of some grave. As the saying, the appearance comes from the heart. Since you look so ugly, your heart must be more vicious than snakes and scorpions. Of course, it's not your fault you look like this, but since you even covet my senior brother's beauty, then you're not right. When he sees such an honorable appearance, he would probably even vomit out the food he ate yesterday. Let alone my senior brother. Even when I see your ghostly appearance, I'm starting to feel sick now. Lu Muyin appeared disgusted. This woman had such a vicious mind, wanting to scratch her and Jean Ses face, cripple their cultivation base, then feed them to the wolves. So, of course, she had to step on her sore spot and verbally attack her. Junior sister, you've really discovered the truth. It's the first time I've seen such an ugly woman, too. Jin Se pursed her lips and covered her mouth with a disgusted look. I feel like throwing up right now. What did it matter about this ugly and old woman? So what if they cursed her? The worst was just death. You both, the woman shrieked, her face grim. I'm going to kill you all. Immediately, she pulled out a long sword and faced the direction of Lu Muyin and Jin Se, ready to slash with all her strength, but was stopped by the middle-aged man. They're my cauldrons, don't go too far. Today, I must let them unable to live, nor die, even as they beg for it. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you together. After the woman was stepped on her sore spot by Lu Muyin, she just wanted to slash the two to pieces. It was the first time that the middle-aged man had met such pure and beautiful cauldrons. The moment he saw the two, he knew they were virgins. He didn't want his planned cauldrons to be ruined by this ugly woman. So the two fought outside the array. The young man holding the flute didn't stop them, but just cast a cold look at Lu Muyin. At this time, Gu Xiao and the others also realized. Lu Muyin deliberately angered the woman, making her want to kill them, but the middle-aged man had already classified them as his own cauldrons, so the two would definitely fight for them. Who knew that she would come up with such a solution at this juncture of crisis? They really underestimated her before. Lu Muyin used her peripheral vision to sweep a corner of the array where a black light was gradually weakening and hooked her lips. This was just the beginning. 1 Omeo, white-cut chicken aka sliced cold chicken, is often used to describe men, usually meaning they're not manly enough, has white, fair skin, which ironically is a beauty standard even for men these days, lol. No muscles, very thin, and looks very fragile, just like a white-cut chicken that's white and tender. Often used to taunt men who look feminine and weak. Do not use this in everyday conversations, ha 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 random note. Of course, the casual lookism here. And why does it always have to be about beauty for evil women, lol? But a good burns. XD. Chapter 361. Not going to save him? Lu Muyin's eyes darkened when she saw that although the two were fighting, but they weren't really killing the other. Played enough. The man leaning on the tree had a playful smile on his lips, and his gaze shot directly at Lu Muyin. Lu Muyin chuckled, about time. Immediately, the array compass in her hand spun around spiritedly, and a golden light flew out, turning into an arc and falling into a corner of the array where the strength had been weakened a lot. The black light on the array suddenly flickered, as if it were about to collapse and dissipate. The man narrowed his eyes, and it was filled with interest. It was the first time he had met such a thorough and interesting woman. When he flipped his hand, a black array flag was revealed, and he muttered a few words. The array flag hummed and flew straight to the sky above the array. Slivers of black light beams fell from the array flag, and the circular light of the array suddenly shook. Then more than a dozen green-haired monsters emerged from the ground, and the entire dense forest was filled with dark, evil force. What is this? The several people gasped when they saw the green-haired monsters. As the green-haired monsters climbed out, corpse aura spread through the dense forest, the smell pungent and unpleasant. These are corpse owls, Lu Muyin said calmly. Gu Xiao and the others' complexions changed greatly, obviously having heard the name of corpse owls. Corpse owls were a kind of puppet that could only be refined by high-level devil cultivators. It needed to be nurtured in the dark evil pit for at least a decade. Their bodies were tough, swords couldn't penetrate, and most importantly, they basically had no weakness. Not only could it not be beaten to death, but elemental energy flames couldn't burn it either. The aura emanating from these more than a dozen corpse owls had reached the sword's sovereign cultivation base, coupled with basically invincible and powerful bodies. Although all of them except Lu Muyin and Lu Jia were sword venerables, but it would still be difficult to kill and resist. Lu Muyin took out a bottle of pills and tossed it to Gu Xiao. These corpse auras are poisonous. You should take the detoxification pills first. Seeing the green air that accompanied the corpse owls, Gu Xiao didn't hesitate and immediately distributed the pills to the several people to take. Junior Sister Lu, do you have any way to deal with these corpse owls? Gu Xiao found that the calmest among them from the very beginning was Lu Muyin, who had the weakest cultivation base. At this time, seeing her calm expression without any nervousness, he actually felt an indescribable sense of trust, as if she could solve this. Lu Muyin nodded with a smile, and with a wave of her hand, a transparent void talisman floated towards the corner of the array. You guys give it your all to attack this point, and leave these corpse owls to me to deal with. Junior Sister Lu, be careful. If you can't handle it, stop immediately and face it together. Gu Xiao thought about it and said, with the current situation, it didn't give them much choice. Maybe if they believed in Lu Muyin, they would still have a sliver of hope. The others were filled with despair, but they weren't ones who gave up easily. And regardless of whether Lu Muyin's methods were useful or not, they still controlled their magic tools and attacked the direction of the Void Spirit Talisman. The pupils of the man leaning on the big tree constricted, and he shot some elemental energy into the array flag above the array. The corpse owls roared a few times and rushed toward the array. Lu Mu Yin sneered, closed her eyes, kept forming seals, then shouted lightly, "Explode!" As soon as her voice fell, countless orange flames erupted from the ground at the edge of the array, and a few corpse owls that had stepped and screamed, burnt to ashes by the flames. "You actually have a spirit flame." The man's pupils shrank, and his expression was instantly grim. The man and woman who were fighting also stopped and turned to look at Lu Mu Yin in the array. There was a bit of terror in their eyes. The boss corpse owls were actually destroyed by half, but they knew how powerful these corpse owls were. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, the leading man waved his sleeve, and he put away the rest of the corpse owls. Spirit flames were the nemesis of the corpse owls. If he didn't put it away now, the remaining half would be destroyed by this woman. Suddenly, the man in the dark mist within the pendant hanging around Lu Mu Yan's neck opened his eyes that shone brilliantly. "You sure slept well this time." As soon as he woke up, he heard Lu Mu Yan's sarcastic telepathic voice. "I can't help it. My soul was too weak before, and it took a little longer. The dark evil force here is just the right supplement for me." He laughed and sucked hard. The suffocating dark evil force lingering around the array quickly entered the pendant and disappeared. The several other people were currently breaking the array, and they weren't familiar with devil cultivators, so they didn't notice, but the man on the big tree revealed shock. Lu Mu Yin furrowed her brows, but didn't stop him. She quickly walked to the corner where the several people were attacking, took out a black array flag as well, and planted it on the ground. Then she took out a few bright white stones and buried them all around. Her hands constantly changed, and one by one, array seals were inserted into the array flag, breaking the array with an array. Lu Jia couldn't resist, but shouted in surprise when he saw her actions. He didn't expect Lu Mu Yin to be able to break an array with an array. "You're also a grade 4 array master?" Only a grade 4 array master could barely use an array to break an array. He only just entered grade 4 and couldn't arrange it at all. But judging from Lu Mu Yan's easy movements, she wasn't as simple as just any ordinary grade 4 array master. Lu Mu Yin smiled and didn't admit nor deny. After advancing to Sword Sovereign, she could already arrange grade 5 arrays. If she advanced to peak phase Sword Sovereign, she believed that she could also use many grade 6 arrays. As Lu Mu Yan's movements became faster and faster, the weak corner gradually revealed a tendency of decadence, and the several people immediately controlled their magic tools to attack. Boom, boom! With a few loud sounds, the black cover instantly collapsed. How's that possible? Boss array was actually broken by them. The black-clothed woman's eyes widened in disbelief. The middle-aged man stared at Lu Mu Yin with a little more scrutiny. Then, regardless of anything, he suddenly jumped and, with a flash, appeared by Lu Mu Yan's side and wanted to capture her. His speed was too fast, and by the time Gu Xiao and the others responded, that person's hand was about to touch Lu Mu Yan's shoulder. "Careful!" the several people shouted. An arc of ridicule rose on Lu Mu Yan's lips, but she didn't move. Just when everyone thought she would be captured, the red figure in front of the man disappeared like a ghost. When she appeared again, a golden sword aura attacked from behind the man, and he quickly retreated in shock. But it happened too quickly, and his previous focus was on catching Lu Mu Yin, so an arm was still sliced off by the golden sword aura. The middle-aged man quickly took out a bottle of medicine and poured it on the wound, and only then did the blood from the broken arm stop gushing out. How can you be so fast?" He looked at the beautiful woman who was smiling beautifully and movingly in horror. Right now, he could no longer feel much appreciation, only infinite heart palpitations of fear. Lu Mu Yin played with the small golden sword in her hand, her red lips lightly opened. Even if a dead person knows a lot, it can't be taken to their coffin. The man suddenly felt a chill on his back, and a shadow of death seemed to envelop his heart. He was just about to take a step back to boss. Suddenly, golden vines emerged from the ground and dragged him directly into the soil, Then came his shrill screams, and the sound gradually softened until it disappeared. Not going to save him? Lu Mu Yin raised her eyes with a half-smile and looked at the man who was still leaning against the tree. Only a piece of trash, so what if he dies? The man spit out a sentence indifferently, which made everyone surrounding feel coldness in their hearts. Chapter 362. Trickulu Muyan's half-smile, the calmness she possesses, and that strength she just revealed deeply shocked Gu Xiao and the others. From the moment they entered the enemy's array trap, she was constantly thinking about the solution. When they were forced into despair by the opponent's various means, she acted. She broke the corpse owls in the array with a single blow, and the conversation with that mysterious and powerful devil cultivator was like a conversation between equals which shocked them. True. Lu Mu Yin nodded with a smile, then pointed at the woman who had wanted to disfigure her and Jean Say earlier and said, "Then are you not going to want this trash too?" The man in black glanced at the woman who had a completely twisted look and said indifferently, "If you have the ability to take her life, then do whatever." For his subordinates, he never left useless people. After staying on this continent for so long, he had no feelings, let alone for two subordinates who could betray him at any time. He knew exactly what the hearts of these two people were, and they had partnered up with the second boss behind his back. Want to take his place? A cold arc of ridicule rose on his lips. Dream on. Boss, you're going to give up on me? The woman looked at the handsome man leaning lazily on the big tree in disbelief. This man that she truly liked once. The black-clothed man furrowed his brows slightly. He hated the ugly woman's affectionate infatuation with him. The reason why she hooked up with the second boss behind his back was precisely to make himself her cauldron when the day came for him to be replaced. Just thinking about it made him sick. Don't you see that your boss is disgusted with you? Lu Muyin sneered. The woman's eyes revealed madness. She turned her head to look at Lu Muyin fiercely and shouted, "I'm going to kill you." After finishing, she brandished a sword light and slashed towards Lu Muyin. Lu Muyin curled her lips into a smile and disappeared in a flash. The sword light naturally only slashed the tree behind her. She had been completing missions in the sect for half a year, and the fastest improvement was actually the flash steps movement method. Now, not only did she cultivate the flash steps method to the highest level, but she had also created a set of movement skills based on the flash step, so this sword light was nothing to her. When she first reached Sword Sovereign, she could already kill demonic beasts at the level of Sword Venerable. At this time, she already successfully formed her core, so it was very easy for her to deal with a Sword Venerable like that woman opposite. Ew. The woman opposite was stunned for a bit, then her heart toughened. A pink smoke spewed out of her mouth. The smoke quickly turned into a long stream and wanted to wrap around Lu Muyin. Lu Muyin's eyes grew cold. This pink smoke was a method of a devil cultivator. The person who it sprayed on would be infected with a king of Y poison, and they would need to have sex with different men for the rest of their lives. Otherwise, the meridians of their whole body would break, and they would die. The woman knew that she might not be Lu Muyin's opponent, so she activated her secret skill with all her might. She wanted Lu Muyin, the woman that insulted her, to want to die than live. Didn't the pupils of the 6 major sects pride themselves on being so pure and clean? Then she would want Lu Muyin to be inseparable from men forever in the future, and even different men, so that she would be named a slut in the 8 Extremes sect. Lu Muyin could see what she was thinking. She knew this method and naturally knew how to break it. Clusters of orange flames burst from her palm, instantly enveloping the oncoming pink stream. In a moment, the pink smoke was completely dissipated by the spirit flame. Spirit flames were the nemesis of all evil methods and ghosts in this world, so it could naturally burn this poisonous gas. How is it possible your spirit flame can actually break my secret skill? The woman cried out in shock. Each time she used the secret skill, it worked without fail. There was even once where she made a beautiful female Saint Sword Master fall in the trap in a sneak attack, yet she didn't expect for it to be broken by a little child today. Lu Mu Yin was too lazy to explain to her. So with a thought, the orange flame formed a rope of fire and instantly trapped the woman who turned to run away. The woman was bound by the spirit flame. Her whole body was burning, and she only felt a burning pain and couldn't resist but let out a few shrill screams. When the spirit flame had tortured her enough, Shue's vines emerged from the ground and dragged her into the ground to suck her blood essence. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks for beginning to end. The man on the big tree didn't intervene to help, but just watched all this indifferently. After Lu Mu Yin finished dealing with the woman, he raised his eyes to look at her. Did you blow the flute that fought against my Xiao before? Yes. Lu Mu Yin nodded. Very good. You were a good opponent. A chuckle sounded from the man's thin lips. He looked at the colorful light that exploded in the sky not far away and said meaningfully, I look forward to seeing you next time. As soon as he finished speaking, before Lu Mu Yin and the others could act, his entire body gradually became transparent and finally disappeared from the big tree. Should we chase him? Jean Sei just had a feeling that the man who just disappeared was very dangerous. But if they didn't eliminate him, he would be even more dangerous. Lu Mu Yin shook her head and said, This isn't his real body, so it's useless to chase after him. It seems that our task this time is very tricky. Hong Yang sighed as he looked at the place where the man disappeared. Gu Xiu looked at the colorful light not far away. The sword sect's pupils are in danger. Let's go and help. Once the 6 sects missions activated, no matter whether the pupils of the sects were compatible or not, if one side was in trouble, all sides must support, otherwise they would be handled according to the sect rules. Moreover, the relationship between the Sword Sect and the 8 Extremes sect wasn't that bad, so they must go tread this muddy water. All right, the others didn't object either and quickly followed Gu Xiu in that direction. And such a situation also occurred in the other 2 deep mountains. The pupils of the 6 major sects were all attacked by devil cultivators. Along the way, Lu Jia and the others' eyes would fall on Lu Mu Yin from time to time with scrutiny and exploration. The speed of the reversal from the woman they initially thought was going to drag them back was too fast and caught them off guard. At this time, they also remembered that the sect leader and the several elders attached great importance to Lu Mu Yin, and it was not without reason, let alone because of Elder Ao Ron. Lu Mu Yin didn't explain anything. She didn't care about what others thought of her. With these so-called senior brothers, her attitude was to befriend them if they could, and it didn't matter if she couldn't. However, after today's battle, she left a deep impression in the hearts of the several people, and they would no longer think that she would drag them back. When the several people arrived at the place where the colorful firework was released, they saw that the pupils of the Sword Sect were trapped in an array, but it was different from the one Lu Mu Yin and the others were trapped in. There was no restriction that isolated transmissions. At this time, the faces of the Sword Sect's pupils were pale, and at first glance, it was evident that their essence was being absorbed by the array. Junior Sister Lu, will trouble you to break the array. Gu Xiu turned his head and looked at Lu Mu Yin urgently. Lu Mu Yin nodded. All right. Those devil cultivators will be handed over to you all. With a glance, the several devil cultivators who trapped the pupils of the Sword Sect here was of the same level as the 2 she killed, and there was no leader here. Lu Mu Yin walked to the side of the array and took out her array flag to begin breaking the array with an array. Gu Xiu and the others also fought with the devil cultivators in full swing. After a while, Lu Mu Yin broke the array and rescued the pupils of the Sword Sect. The leading pupil of the Sword Sect thanked her, then rushed out to help Gu Xiu and the others with his group. Not long after, under the joint attack of the pupils of the Sword Sect and 8 Extreme Sect, all the devil cultivators were slayed on the spot. Chapter 363. Bribe the pupils of the 8 Extremes sect jointly slayed the besieging devil cultivators, but they failed to leave one alive. Both of the ones who were captured alive committed suicide. The leading pupil of the Sword Sect's face sank. It seems that these devil cultivators came prepared, and many mercenaries and wandering cultivators died in their hands already. I wonder what the other sect situations are. Gu Xiu sighed. Without any of them alive, we can't ask for the news of the missing pupils. Why don't we meet with the other sects to discuss the countermeasures first? A pupil of the sword sect suggested. That's all we can do for now. Gu Xiu nodded. After they entered this deep mountain, they encountered 2 waves of ambush attacks by devil cultivators. The other party already arranged an array to besiege and kill them, so continuing to go deeper into the mountain would only be more dangerous. After Lu Mu Yin broke the array, she leaned against a big tree with her arms folded, pondering. I wonder what this junior sister is called. Thank you, junior sister, for breaking the array and saving us earlier. The leader of the sword sect walked up to Lu Mu Yin and smiled at her. Lu Mu Yin raised her head and smiled lightly, saying, My name is Lu Mu Yin. So, it's junior sister Lu. I've long heard your name. You must be junior brother Lu Mu Bei's younger sister. The leader of the sword sect continued with a smile. My name is Han. Senior brother Han. You know my elder brother. Lu Mu Yin's expression revealed a bit of warmth when she heard Lu Mu Bei's name. Naturally, junior brother Lu has been accepted as a direct disciple by my master. He and I are senior and junior brother of the same school. Han Yi and Lu Mu Bei had a good relationship. After all, he was his little junior brother, so he usually took care of him. Lu Mu Yin smiled. So, elder brother is this powerful. To be accepted as a direct disciple by a master of the sword sect meant that Lu Mu Bei's talent and strength should be excelling in the sword sect. When she was in the inn, Gu Xiu focused on introducing Lu Mu Yin and the others to the situation of the other sect's pupils that were completing the mission together, especially the leading pupils. So that's why she knew that Han, he was the direct disciple of the strongest headmaster of the sword school of the sword sect. Junior brother Lao's talent is extraordinary. After he activated the sword spirit constitution half a year ago, he was accepted as a direct disciple by master. He only needs to win a spot in the inner sect, then he would be able to enter the inner sect's core school to report. Speaking of Lu Mu Bai, Han, he had a look of admiration in his eyes. Elder brother, is the sword spirit constitution? Lu Mu Yin asked in surprise. She did discover that Lu Mu Bei's constitution was a little special, but she didn't expect it to have hidden the sword spirit constitution. Han, he nodded with a smile. Junior brother Lao's sword spirit constitution was covered by his bloodline before, and it was also unintentionally activated when he was doing a mission for the sect. I see. Then I'll have to trouble senior brother Han to take care of my elder brother a little. Lu Mu Yin was happy with Lu Mu Bei's growth inwardly. After activating the sword spirit constitution, her elder brother's future achievements would grow even more. Haha, let alone for the fact that Mu Bai is my little junior martial brother, even if it were just for the sake of junior sister Lu breaking us out of the array and saving us, I will also take care of junior brother Lu. What Han, he said, wasn't a lie. When they were trapped in the array before, they only felt that their essence was constantly being drained. If Lu Mu Yin hadn't cracked the array, they would have become dried corpses right now. Senior brother Han is too polite. The several major sects are completing a mission together, so it should only be that we help each other. Lu Mu Yin thought about it, then took out an interspatial ring and handed it to Han Yi with a smile. Senior brother Han, can you help me give this interspatial ring to elder brother? Inside the ring were a lot of pills and talismans she refined, and it would be of great help to Lu Mu Bai after obtaining them. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, sure. It'll definitely help you bring it to him. Hani took the ring and put it away. Then Lu Mu Yin took out 2 bottles of pills and stuffed them on. There are elemental nourishing pills and elemental recovery pills in here, and they're of some use to senior brother. I will trouble you with my elder brother in the future. She heard that Han mingled well in the sword sect, had quite some authority, and he was also an upright person. If Lu Mu Bai could obtain his care in the sect, then he would definitely have a better time. Han, he was stunned for a moment, then looked at the 2 bottles of pills with a half smile and said jokingly, Is junior sister bribing me? You can keep these pills for yourself. Since senior brother promised to take care of your elder brother, I won't break the promise. Senior brother, As the saying goes, the mouth that has been fed by others is soft. The hand that has received wouldn't overreach one. One doesn't obtain a reward if it's not deserved. If you accept my pills, there'll be more at ease, no? Lu Mu Yin said straightforwardly. The other pupils were stunned when they heard her words, then couldn't resist twitching the corners of their lips. Was it really good to bribe so openly like this? But why do they envy Han Yi so much? Although the pill in his hand was only grade 3, but it was very useful to sword masters at Sword Venerable Cultivation Base. In particular, the elemental nourishing pill could not only consolidate one's origins and dredge the meridians, but also make elemental energy pure if taken long-term. It was a grade 3 pill with grade 4 effects. On the entire Tianling continent, this pill had long been frantically sought for. Although the major sects were interested, but because the Liu clan's pill shop had the Ming Chamber of Commerce Alliance standing behind them, they didn't act rashly. Since this is junior sister Lao's kind intent, then brother Han should not refuse anymore. Junior sister isn't short of pills. Gu Xiu saw that Lu Mu Yin attached great importance to that elder brother, so he stepped forward and said with a smile, "Haha." Hani laughed a few times and said refreshingly, "Sure. Then I'll accept junior sister Lao's bribe, and I will take good care of junior brother Lu." Lu Mu Yan's bold and open behavior had aroused the goodwill of the several people. The people of the sword sect were all rather straightforward, and the long-lasting path of righteousness was more conducive to cultivating the sword. If she secretly bribed Han Yi, it would instead arouse disgust from him. After all, taking care of Lu Mu Bai wasn't a big deal, and there was no need to make it so mysterious and secretive. Shoo shoo! Suddenly, the sky in the distance lit up with gorgeous, colorful fireworks. That's the summoning signal of the heavenly secret palace. Let's rush over and take a look. Han, he looked up and said. Immediately, the pupils of the two sects rushed towards the direction of the heavenly secret palace. After Lu Mu Yin broke the two arrays, all the dark evil force around the array was also sucked up by the person in the pendant. Now let's talk about your identity. Lu Mu Yin spoke telepathically to the person in the pendant while rushing. The man in the pendant was silent for a moment before he said in a grim tone, "Have you heard of Jun Luo Chun of the devil race from the upper world?" Lu Mu Yin turned to look at Mo Yin and asked with her gaze. She didn't know anything about the upper world. Mo Yan's indifferent eyes narrowed. "Are you the devil lord Jun Luo Chun of the devil realm?" "Huh, I didn't expect anyone to still know my name even now." The man in the pendant scoffed at himself. "I was the former devil lord Jun Luo Chun. I don't even know who landed as the current devil lord. How was your physical body damaged? Have you been betrayed?" Lu Mu Yin didn't expect that this person was a devil lord that dominated an entire realm. To have his physical body be destroyed, even when he sat in that sort of position, then he was most likely betrayed by those close to him. She didn't know whether her luck was too good or too awful. Not only did she contract Mo Yin, a demon king of a portion of the demon realm, but now she even picked up a devil lord of a devil realm. Jun Luo Chan pondered for a bit, then said with a chilling resentment in his voice, "That's right. So I'm going to go back to the devil realm to take back the position of devil lord and send that person into the underworld, never to be reincarnated again." One basically meaning that one is partial to those whom presents have been accepted. Chapter 364. The restless to Lu Mu Yin could understand Jun Luo Chen's hostile tone. If she was betrayed by someone close to her, her body destroyed, and even her 7 spirits and 3 souls separated from her body, then she would take all the grudges and return to take back her own things when she got the chance, sending the enemy to hell to never be reincarnated again. Is the devil cultivator in the deep mountains from her devil realm? Lu Mu Yin asked. Jun Luo Chan snorted with disdain. Just them? I'm from the devil realm of the upper world, and they're just the devil race from a lower world. Is the upper world also divided into many interfaces? Lu Mu Yin was actually curious about the upper world that they spoke of, Jun Luo-chun was slightly surprised to hear her question, obviously not expecting that she didn't know about the upper world. Didn't the Demon King on your shoulder tell you? Lu Muyin glared at Mo Yin with her beautiful eyes. He said he would tell me when I had that strength. It's time for her to know now. You can tell her. Mo Yin's voice sounded faintly. Now, that Lu Muyin, this woman, provoked the Devil Lord of the Devil Realm. Once the two cooperated, they would definitely slaughter back to the upper world. The upper world is called the Guangling world. There aren't many interfaces in the upper world, but there are 4 major realms, namely the human realm, devil realm, demon realm, and the sea realm. Jun Luo-chun paused, then continued. Although the Guangling world is only divided into 4 major realms, but the area is very vast and boundless. If a high-level sword master wanted to travel through the entire Guangling world, it's heard that it would take at least thousands of years, and on the premise of not encountering danger or resistance. Is the sea realm where the sea race lives? Lu Muyin asked after thinking for a bit. She wasn't surprised by the vastness of Guangling world. After all, the area of the spiritual realm she once lived in was also vast and boundless, with numerous races. Yes, among the 4 major realms, the sea race is the strongest existence, but there are also traces of the sea race on this interface of yours. It's useless for you to know other information for now. You'll know it naturally when you reach Guangling world. Jun Luo-chun replied. Lu Muyin raised an eyebrow, but also didn't ask anymore. Right now, she still had so many things to deal with on this interface, and she didn't have much energy to devote to the currently illusory upper world, so she only needed to know it in general. Lu Muyin chatted with Jun Luo-chun along the way and learned a lot about devil cultivators. Half a day later, they arrive at the location where the Heavenly Secret Palace's signal was released. At this time, the pupils of the several other sects were already waiting there, but except for the pupils of the Heavenly Secret Palace, the pupils of the other sects were in a relatively sorry state. There was even a decrease in numbers. They must have been lost when they fell into the Devil Cultivator's trap. You're actually fine? The leader of the Vast Mountain sect couldn't help but exclaim when he saw that Gu Xiao and the others not only didn't lose anyone, but were even safe. Gu Xiao snorted coldly. Do you really want to see something happen to us? Huh? How could that be? The Vast Mountain sect's pupil knew that his tongue had slipped, and he smiled awkwardly, but he was secretly resentful. This time, their Vast Mountain sect suffered the heaviest losses. Not only did they lose 3 inner pupils, but they also lost 2 saint treasures before being able to slay those devil cultivators. Brother Qi must have something important to call us here, right? Han, he stepped forward and asked the elegant Ming Xiao. Ming Xiao stood with his hands behind his back, his handsome expression showing a rare solemnity. We caught a leader of the group of devil cultivators, and we discovered from him that the missing pupils of the 6 major sects are currently trapped in the Dark Evil Cliff. What? They're actually trapped at the Dark Evil Cliff. The Spirit Beast sect leader exclaimed. Come and read on our website Wuxiao World site. Thanks, the Dark Evil Cliff was different from the 3 mountains they had visited before. It was the most dangerous place at Falling Ghost River. The dark evil force at the bottom of the cliff was something even strong sword saints didn't dare go deep towards. If they went, weren't they courting death? Are we going to have to go to the Dark Evil Cliff? That place isn't somewhere we can go. The leading pupil of the Vast Mountain sect immediately objected. They already lost 3 people, and if they went to the Dark Evil Cliff, there may be no return. Ming Xiao glanced at the 2 of them indifferently. The place where the missing pupils are trapped isn't at the top of the Dark Evil Cliff, and there is still some distance. Now that we've accepted the mission, we should go and check it out. Of course, if any of the sect's pupils want to back out, I won't stop you. His eyes were indifferent, but he held a look as if looking down upon the world, which made the several leading pupils feel pressured. Our 8 Extreme sect will never back out, Gu Xiao said without hesitation. Han Yi then said, our sword sect will also not back out. Well, go to. The medicine sect's leading pupil said with furrowed brows. After listening to the promise of the 3, Ming Xiao nodded with satisfaction and turned his eyes to the pupils of the vast mountain sect and the spirit beast sect. Under his pressure, the two leading pupils could only grit their teeth and agree. We will naturally not back down either. Very well. Let's not delay any longer and leave now. Ming Xiu retracted his gaze and disappeared in place first. The pupils of the other sects didn't dare dawdle and quickly followed. Lu Muyin pursed her lips. Ming Xiu, this guy, looked like a king wherever he was. Yin, did you discover anything? A magnetic, clear voice suddenly sounded in her mind. I think the devil cultivators have ulterior motives for trapping the missing pupils on the dark evil cliff. Maybe they're deliberately diverting our attention. Lu Muyin pondered for a moment and replied. Ahead, Ming Xiu's eyes were dyed with a smile. Indeed. Their purpose should be for the soon-to-be-born obsidian fluorite in Falling Ghost River. You asked the pupils of the 6 major sects to go to the dark evil cliff to investigate on purpose to let those devil cultivators relax their vigilance. Lu Muyin always knew that Ming Xiu was very scheming. After arriving at Dark Evil Cliff, well, act according to opportunity. When the birth of the obsidian fluorite you estimated is approaching, we'll lure the tiger out of the mountain and go back to snatch it. Ming Xiu never hid his dark side in front of Lu Muyin. Lu Muyin's lips raised in an arc. What about the pupils of the other sects? It's enough to ensure their safety. If one wants to get a share of the porridge, one also has to see if they have that ability or not. Ming Xiu obviously didn't take the other pupils of the 6 major sects seriously. He naturally had this arrogant capital. Lu Muyin also wasn't prepared to be so big-hearted to share a heaven-ranked spiritual item with the pupils of the other sects so generously. If those people could snatch it themselves, she wouldn't destroy that opportunity, but she wouldn't help either. She had reached the pinnacle of the understanding realm with her water attribute elemental energy. She could enter great achievement as long as she had an opportunity. It was necessary to have a handy water attribute natal magic tool. I met an incarnation of a devil cultivator earlier, and he exuded a strong aura. If his real body came to snatch the obsidian fluorite, I'm afraid that we'll have trouble. Lu Muyin remembered that black-clothed man and cautioned Ming Xiu. Ming Xiu's eyes concealed a very faint fighting intent, and his thin lips overflowed with a curve. Isn't it too boring to have no strong opponents to snatch the obsidian fluorite with? True, the Falling Ghost River will definitely be interesting in a few days. Lu Muyin also revealed a look of eagerness. She just loved to join in the fun the most. Besides, the obsidian fluorite hadn't been born yet, so it couldn't be considered to be discovered by the devil cultivators. Those who saw it had a share, so she and Ming Xiu would definitely snatch it. Chapter 365. Maternal Clan's most valuable treasure, Dark Evil Cliff, was deep in the forest directly opposite the Falling Ghost River. Along the way, the pupils of the 6 major sects encountered a lot of miasma and demonic beasts. After that, they were attacked by 6 waves of devil cultivators consecutively. Once they entered the opponent's array, they didn't even need to break the array at all with an array compass, as Ming Xiu could find the weak point and cut through the array with his own strength. Under the great power of Ming Xiu, not a single pupil was injured. The impressive strength he revealed also completely shocked the pupils of the 6 major sects. The number 1 pupil of the inner sect of the Heavenly Secret Palace was indeed well-deserved. Ming Xiu's white clothes were without dust, his steps were light, like a fallen immortal, elegant and noble, giving people a feeling of unattainability, which made many female pupils want to come forward but stop, only watching his silhouette with growing infatuation. Lu Muyin's eyes were clear. She indeed had love for Ming Xiu between that of a man and woman, and she, who had been single for 2 lives, also wanted to find a man who she could stand side by side with and pursue the great path together. Ming Xiu was the first man who made her heart move. That feeling was a little wondrous. Although love at first sight was a bit exaggerated, but it was true that feelings grew subconsciously in the very few meetings she had with him. Of course, She wasn't a daughter who needed to cling to a man to survive. Moreover, the level of relationship they established between them was mostly built on feelings, and they had never experienced life and death together. So the feelings she had for Mingxiu weren't that deep, and it was even less likely that she would lose her way because of him. Strengthening her path's heart and pursing the great path of an ultimate powerhouse was still her biggest pursuit at present. Brother Kai's array attainments are too strong. Could it be that you've already become a grade 5 array master? Hani saw Mingxiu split open a great array again and easily slay the 3 initial phase sword venerable devil cultivators. He suppressed the shock in his heart and asked tentatively with a smile. Mingxiu replied with a smile, I have indeed advanced to grade 5 array master. Hani's test was also what other people thought. After knowing that he was already a grade 5 array master, many pupils all sucked in a deep breath. He was only 22 years old, yet was already so talented in arrays. He was almost as good as the #1 array master among the inner pupils of the 8 Extremes sect. Lu Muyan's eyes overflowed with a small smile. Mingxiu only said that he was a grade 5 array master, yet these people were shocked. If they knew that this guy was already a grade 7 array master, then wouldn't their jaws drop from shock? Not to mention Mingxiu. Even she was already a grade 5 array master. It seemed that it wasn't something to make a big fuss over. If the pupils of the 6 major sects who specialized in arrays heard Lu Muyan's inner thoughts, then wouldn't they feel suffocated to death? Who could compare with these 2 abnormal monsters? Wherever grade 5 array masters went on the entire Tianling continent, they were the objects that others catered to, and they could also become more powerful elders in the Array Master Alliance. Brother Kai's talent in arrays is truly amazing. Gu Xiu quickly restrained the shock in his eyes and said with a smile, I heard that Brother Qi had advanced to a grade 5 smith a year ago. With Brother Kai's smithing talents, I'm afraid that you're not far from grade 6, yes? There's still some distance. Mingxiu smiled lightly and didn't say much. The others couldn't ask any more now, but they were all amazed, and an unsurpassable sense of respect for him grew in their hearts. Mingxiu was known as the #1 person in the inner sect of the Heavenly Secret Palace, not only because of his talent in arrays and smithing, but also because of his talent in cultivation. Mingxiu, has your smithing skills reached grade 7? Lu Muyan asked telepathically. Mingxiu's eyes that were as deep as a sea of stars melted into a soft color. I just entered grade 7 some time ago. Abnormal monster. Lu Muyan raised an eyebrow and uttered 2 words after a moment. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, one must know that the highest evaluation level of the smiths on Tianling continent was only grade 10, and it was said that the #1 person on the continent was only a grade 8 smith. It wasn't impossible to break through grade 10 with Mingxiu's powerful talent. You can also refine grade 6 pills, right? Mingxiu's gentle and clear voice carried a smile. I can barely make grade 6 pills. The firmness in Lu Muyan's eyes grew stronger, but it was because she cultivated to the core formation stage to be able to refine grade 6 pills, and she even had to use a spirit flame, so her strength still needed to be improved. Her cultivation speed was already very fast in the eyes of others, but it was in fact the result of her constant suppression. Otherwise, she would probably already have advanced to peak phase Sword Sovereign by now. Your talent for alchemy is indeed strong. Mingxiu also didn't expect Lu Muyan to actually be able to refine grade 6 pills, so at the same time as being surprised, there was also an indescribable pride. The fact that his array and smithing skills could reach grade 7 wasn't simply because of his excelling talent, but also because he had things to rely on. However, her alchemy skills was something that even he was amazed at with his identity. By the way, what level of magic tool is the ice bangle you gave me? Lu Muyan thought about it, and still asked the question in her heart. Mingxiu heard the words ice bangle and glanced at Lu Muyan's slender wrist. A smile like a spring breeze rose on his lips. I'm also not sure, but the ice bangle has been passed down as the most valuable treasure by my maternal clan. so it's at the very least a divine tool. He didn't want to show off to Lu Mu Yin how valuable the thing he gifted her was, but only hoped that she would better understand this ice bangle and activate its wonderful uses. Aren't you afraid of punishment for giving me the most valuable treasure of your maternal clan? Lu Mu Yan's brows were furrowed together slightly. This is what my mother gave me to give to her future daughter-in-law. Since I've decided on you, it's naturally yours. Ming Xiu didn't hide it either. The corner of Lu Mu Yan's lips twitched. I believe that the ice bangle was gifted to me when we first met, right? Could it be that you fell in love with this miss then? At the time, I only thought that you were rather interesting and didn't really truly like you. But there was a voice in my heart that told me to give it to you. Later, it was proved that the judgment in my heart was correct. You're the woman I want to find to spend the rest of my life with. Ming Xiu's tone was sincere, and it was indeed from deep in his heart. Lu Mu Yin chuckled and teased. It seems that this miss is so exceptionally charming that you fell in love with me at first sight. Ming Xiu listened to her silver bell-like laughter, and his heart fluttered. If it wasn't for the fact that the occasion wasn't suitable, he really wanted to pull her into his arms and hug her tightly. My woman is naturally exceptionally charming. You're truly enough. Lu Mu Yin found that Ming Xiu's romantic words made her more and more unable to resist. His skin was too thick. I said it according to my heart. The corners of Ming Xiu's lips rose again. Lu Mu Yin smiled and changed the topic. Do you know the uses of the ice bangle? I know a little. Ming Xiu said, the ice bangle is an ancestral item passed down on my maternal clan side and was only passed on to the daughter-in-law. Although it's been passed down for dozens of generations, but the person who can truly let it recognize its owner had never appeared. I heard from my mother that when the ice bangle is activated, it has the effect of promoting the growth of spiritual herbs. As for more of its usefulness, it'll only be known when it recognizes an owner. If the ice bangle recognizes an owner, as their cultivation base increases, more of it will also gradually be activated. There are bound to be unexpected surprises. Ming Xiu finished in one breath. Lu Mu Yin was stunned. What surprised her most was that the ice bangle had been passed down for so many generations, and yet none of them were successfully recognized as owners. But she was obviously connected with the ice bangle, and the gentleness and kindness it spread towards her meant that it had recognized her as owner. Chapter 366. Fated. Seeing that Lu Mu Yan's eyes revealed a bit of a different look, with a thought, Ming Xiu flicked the sleeve of his left hand, and a cyan-colored bangle similar to the ice bangle suddenly appeared on his wrist. I also have a cyan bangle, which is a pair with the ice bangle. Can you see it? One of them was ahead, and one was behind as they rushed, and they constantly used divine sense telepathy. Lu Mu Yin lowered her eyes and saw the cyan bangle that suddenly appeared on Ming Xiu's wrist. I can see it. Can you hide it? Yin, it seems that we're really destined to be a fated couple. Ming Xiu's voice was filled with a rare excitement. The only man and woman who had been recognized as owners of the cyan bangle and the ice bangle at the same time are only the two of us. Is this pair of bangles made by someone from your maternal clan? Lu Mu Yin asked curiously. To be able to refine such powerful divine tools, or possibly even divine treasures, then how high was the level and talent of that smith? It said that an almighty in my maternal clan made it to gift to his beloved woman. But when he had finished refining this pair of bangles, his beloved died in an accident, and that almighty actually followed and buried himself together. The blood essence of the two people eventually merged into this pair of bangles, and they became tool spirits. He left a legacy before his death. The heir of the clan, each generation can refine the cyan bangle and gift the ice bangle to the woman in his heart. If both of them can get the recognition of the bangles as owners, then they don't need to pass it on anymore. But if one party couldn't be recognized as owner, then they must be passed on to the next generation to continue the inheritance until the day when the two bangles recognize the owners together. Ming Xiu said leisurely. Lu Mu Yin didn't expect the ice bangle to have such a story, so that's how it is. We're their destined people. Ming Xiu smiled merrily and said, "By the way, after your cultivation base reaches Sword Venerable, as long as you activate the second layer of the bangle, then you can hide it freely. Even a sword deity can't discover it." Looking at the tall, handsome man's back, Lu Mu Yin murmured softly. Judging from the level of the two bangles, they weren't only mysterious but also of high level, and they didn't look like something that this continent should have. Ming Xiu's identity also wouldn't be as simple as Monarch Ming of the Nine Layers Hall of Tianling Continent either. The corner of Lu Mu Yan's lips hooked up. She knew that Ming Xiu hoped that she would get to know him little by little, so she naturally wouldn't disappoint his expectations. One day, she would slowly reveal his true identity, and she liked to deepen her love for him in this way. How boring would it be if the secrets of the two were exposed and disclosed in front of each other, just like this? She rubbed the ice bangle and felt its joy for her, and the curvature of the corners of her lips gradually deepened. She sure was looking forward to the surprises when the second layer of the ice bangle was activated. When the several people reached the top of the mountain, they saw the missing pupils of the six major sects all lying unconscious on a huge stone. They're actually really here. The leading pupil of the vast mountain sect glanced at the abyss, surrounded by dark, evil force in the distance in fear. His gaze was complicated as he looked at the pupils lying on the boulder, then asked Ming Xiu, "They let us find them this easily. Could there be any tricks? They've tried this hard to lead us to come here, so their purpose definitely isn't pure. Everyone should be careful." Ming Xiu nodded and said, "Clap, clap." Then a series of claps sounded, and a handsome man in purple loomed out from behind the boulder. He looked at them with deep intent and said, "The six major sects are indeed the top forces of Tianling Continent. You've arrived much faster than I expected. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site." Thanks with his appearance, all the men in black lurking in the vicinity came out. "Who are you? What is your purpose of luring us here?" Ming Xiu looked at the man and asked lightly. The purple-clothed man chuckled. "Naturally, we're people who will take your lives." Then a man in black behind him leaned to his ear and said, "Second Commander, the array has been activated." "Good job." The purple-clothed man smiled and patted the shoulder of the person beside him. But then who would have expected that he grabbed that person's neck and said, "You should sacrifice yourself for the Dark Soul Beast." As soon as the purple-clothed man's voice fell, Lu Mu Yin and the others saw that he had twisted the man's neck and even stabbed him, then tossed him in front of them. Blood flowed from the man's body, and instantly a bloody scent spread throughout. A black light cover rose from the ground and tried to trap the pupils of the six major sects within it. Both Ming Xiu and Lu Mu Yin noticed the change. "Be careful. Hurry up and separate." After Ming Xiu reminded the others, he landed beside Lu Mu Yin in a flash, took her into his arms, and when he reappeared, he was already beside the boulder while the others didn't have such reaction speed, so they were all trapped within the array. Of course, the two didn't hug each other any longer when they reappeared. At the moment of danger, the first thing that Ming Xiu thought of was Lu Mu Yin, and his actions moved with his mind as he took her away. In fact, Lu Mu Yin was also ready to escape, but Ming Xiu was a step faster and took her out of the range of the array. The scent of blood grew stronger and stronger, and the black light cover of the array rippled. A dark black beast suddenly emerged from below the ground and sucked out the soul of the dead man in black and swallowed it. What the hell is this thing? The leading pupil of the vast mountain sect saw the giant black beast that emerged from the hole, covered with eerie scales, its eyes not only as large as buckets, but also glowed with a green light. With only one look, it was truly terrifying. Jinsei rolled her eyes, and while surprised, she said without a good attitude, "The man just now said that he would make a sacrifice for the Dark Soul Beast. So this monster must be the Dark Soul Beast in legend that's said to be born from dark evil force, and specifically devours the souls of humans and demonic beasts. The Dark Soul Beast was a kind of soul beast cultivated by a devil cultivator. It was powerful and ferocious by nature, and the conditions for raising it were very strict. It must have been raised in a crypt with dark evil force. The growth of the dark soul beast was extremely sinister, and it must erode and devour the souls of demonic beasts and human sword masters that only just died to be able to advance in cultivation base. Tisk TSK. I didn't expect that there's a unique person in this group of trash. The man in purple casually glanced at the people trapped in the array, then locked his eyes on the peerless Ming Xiao. Because he saw how Ming Xiao moved to take Lu Mu Yin away from the array earlier, plus her average cultivation base, so she was directly ignored by him. In his eyes, Lu Mu Yin was a woman who used her beauty to cling to and rely on Ming Xiao. Those wandering cultivators and mercenaries who disappeared and died are the people you all lured and trapped in an array to let the dark soul beast to devour, yes. Ming Xiao's eyes were still indifferent, but his voice was piercingly cold, and our 6 major sects were also plotted against by you. Indeed, this dark soul beast is about to advance, but it lacked the energy it needed to advance. While you 6 major sects' prodigious pupils will be its greatest nourishment. The purple-clothed man revealed an eerie smile on his face. Chapter 367. Ignored the dark soul beast raised and bred by the purple-clothed man, and the others had already reached peak phase Tier 7 and must devour enough Tier 8 demonic beasts or venerable sword masters to be able to advance. The Tier 8 demonic beasts were all hidden in secretive or dangerous places all over the continent, so the devil cultivators naturally wouldn't risk such huge dangers to find and kill them. First, Tier 8 demonic beasts weren't stupid either, as if they would stay in one place to be caught. And second, even if they fell into an array they set up, it would only be one and would require a lot of time and energy. Such a deal was definitely a loss. Meanwhile, human sword masters were different. They planned to lure elite pupils from various sects, and with one array, they would be trapped, and the dark soul beast only needed to devour and refine the pupil's soul essences. It would definitely advance to Tier 8 in a year. If you want to turn us into nourishment for the dark soul beast, you also need to have that ability. Ming Xiao raised an eyebrow. Jun Luo Chen's voice sounded in Lu Mu Yan's sea of consciousness. Little girl, that dark soul beast is a great supplement to me. As long as I devour it and refine it, my main soul will be completely consolidated and stabilized. You mean you want me to give you that dark soul beast to nourish you? Lu Mu Yan rolled her eyes. Don't worry. After my main soul consolidates, there'll naturally be plenty of benefits for you. Jun Luo Chen said. He could do nothing else. His main soul was on the verge of collapse, so even if he turned from a devil cultivator to a ghost cultivator, he wouldn't be able to easily do it. But as long as he devoured this dark soul beast, he could completely consolidate his spirit soul, and he could even help Lu Mu Yin deal with high-level sword masters when it came time. Lu Mu Yin weighed the pros and cons inwardly. Although there were great hidden dangerous lurking in saving this devil lord, but the benefits also existed. In the future, she would also ascend to Guanling World, and it would also be an extremely interesting event to take the devil lord and Mo Yin to slaughter their way back to retrieve the things that originally belonged to them. Sure, you'll get this dark soul beast that delivered itself to our door for you to devour. You'll help me do 3 things in the future. Lu Mu Yin added after a bit. Of course, I won't get you to die. The corner of Jun Luo Chen's lips twitched. Since he became a devil lord for so many years, no one had dared to speak to him with such a tone. Lu Mu Yin really was the first. All right, I promise you. Swear with a heart demon, Lu Mu Yin said. Jun Luo Chen gritted his teeth and asked, You don't believe me? Do you think that I, a righteous faction's pupil, will believe you, a devil race person? Not to mention that you're the former devil lord. Lu Mu Yin said casually. Her nature was actually rather cold, and only those who had truly entered her heart would she give her full trust to. This devil lord was obviously not included. The heart demon oath was very vicious, and no human nor demonic beast dared to violate it. Unless the person who made the oath didn't want to advance. Otherwise, once they violated the oath they made on their heart demon, Then a shadow of a soaring devil from beyond the highest heavens would cause trouble at critical moments of advancement. Not only would they fail to advance successfully, they may even lose their intelligence and become a mere puppet. Jun Luo, chin choked. Although he cooperated with Lu Muyin, but he didn't trust her entirely either. The relationship they established wasn't very reliable and was only just using each other. All right, I swear by my heart demon. Jun Luo Chen swore without hesitation. At this time, the man in purple had already activated the array, and circles of black cyclones appeared in the array. The pupils of the 6 major sects only felt that the essence of their bodies were fading little by little. Although slow, but it was enough to make them terrified. Qixio, save us quickly. The leading pupil of the vast mountain sect shouted anxiously. The purple-clothed man raised a sinister arc on his lips, pointed at Ming Xiao, and instructed the men in black around them. Treat him well. Obviously, in his eyes, Ming Xiao wasn't qualified to let him act. Can you break that array? Ming Xiao turned to Lu Muyin and asked. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, Lu Muyin nodded. I can. If she no longer hid her talent and strength in arrays, then it wasn't difficult for her to quickly break the array. They'll hold these devil cultivators back. You go and rescue them first. Ming Xiao's eyes were filled with trust. All right. Lu Muyin held a golden longsword and walked towards the array. However, the men in black all ignored her existence along the way and directly attacked Ming Xiao. I'm actually ignored by them. The corner of Lu Muyin's lips twitched, looked at Mo Yan on her shoulder, and asked, I'm that bad? And Mo Yan's indifferent eyes were filled with smiles. Didn't you like to act as an innocent pig to eat tigers the most? Isn't this perfect for you? But it doesn't feel good to be ignored by everyone. Lu Muyin shrugged and joked. The purple-clothed man naturally saw Lu Muyin's actions, but ignored it. What a joke. A girl with only sword sovereign cultivation base had the ability to break a grade 5 array? Yes. This time they arranged a grade 5 array on the top of the mountain. After all, the pupils of the 6 major sects that were trapped were basically all sword venerables. If it were a grade 4 array, and there was an array master among them, then it would be impossible to trap them to death. Meanwhile, grade 5 arrays were different. Even a sword saint swordmaster powerhouse wouldn't be able to break it quickly. Lu Muyin walked to the array and took out an array compass as she squatted down for a look while Ming Xiao slayed all the men in black who besieged him. The man in purple didn't expect that Ming Xiao would have such power, then snorted coldly. Let me clean up a thorn like you today. After speaking, in a flash, he met Ming Xiao's sword aura that he swung over. Ming Xiao deliberately moved his position, keeping the purple-clothed man away from the vicinity to let Lu Muyin display her abilities. The two fought fiercely near Dark Evil Cliff. Try attacking this point. Lu Muyin pointed to a point in the corner of the array and raised her head to say to the people inside. The leading pupil of the vast mountain sect sneered. A little child who knows no limits. Do you think you can become a high-level array master because you're holding an array compass? This is a grade 5 array. If you know your limits, then get out of the way. They were all trapped in this array that could devour essence, so if they used elemental energy, it would speed up the devouring of the array. If they really listened to this 8 extreme sect girl, then they would be fools. Lu Muyin's eyes turned cold, and her entire temperament changed. She looked sharply at the leading pupil of the vast mountain sect and said coldly, "Shut up if you don't want to die." If it weren't that the pupils of the 8 extreme sect were also trapped in the array, she wouldn't rescue these vast mountain sect people at all. Of course, she noted down his words to tell her to get out of the way. You dare to speak to me like this? The leading pupil of the vast mountain sect didn't expect the girl outside to be so bold and tough, but the other party's gaze made him tremble. Lu Muyin was too lazy to pay attention to him. Now wasn't the time to be bickering. She shifted her gaze to Gu Xiao and Han Yi, then said lightly, "Just do as I say if you want to escape." If these people believed her, then she would naturally break the array with all her strength, but if they didn't, then she would be too lazy to care. This array was a soul-locking array. The key point was to lock the souls of the people trapped. It was best to attack and break the array from within. It would take an hour to break through the array if they relied on her strength. By that time, the people inside would have lost at least a third of their essence. But if they attacked from the inside and outside, then it would only take an incense stick of time. It all depended on whether the people trapped in the array believed her or not. Chapter 368. Break the soul-locking array. Lu Muyin played with the array compass in her hand and looked at Gu Xiao and Han Yi without much hurry. Junior sister Lu, how confident are you in breaking this array? Gu Xiao's question represented the voice of everyone here. If they used elemental energy to break the array according to the position pointed out by Lu Muyin, then what if the array wasn't broken, but their elemental essence was lost a lot faster? They must be careful about things that might not be worth the loss. 100%, Lu Muyin said calmly and confidently. What arrogance! The leading pupil of the vast mountain sect sneered disdainfully. Today, even if a grade 5 array master of my sect came, they wouldn't dare say they have 100% confidence of breaking this array, let alone you, some random child from somewhere. Lu Muyin was too lazy to pay attention to him. She folded her arms and looked at the people inside indifferently. If you listen to me, you can come out within an incense stick of time. If you don't believe me, then you can go play in the array yourselves. You can break this array in just an incense stick of time? How's that possible? The medicine sect's leading pupil asked in disbelief. Lu Muyin narrowed her eyes, smiled ever so sweetly. Then her face instantly turned cold. Believe it or not, up to you. It'll count to 3. If you haven't decided yet, just stay in the array and enjoy the disappearance of your essence. Everyone was stunned when they watched her face flip faster than flipping a book. 1, 2, 3. Lu Muyin counted from 1 to 3 without the slightest hesitation and immediately prepared to turn and leave. Junior sister Lu, wait. Gu Xiao's voice sounded urgently. Lu Muyin turned around and looked at the people playfully. If you're a man, be clear-cut. Just give a sentence if you want me to break the array or not. Couldn't one be cautious as a man now? I believe junior sister Lu. Jean Sei smiled enchantingly. Then a long sword appeared in her hand. The several people looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and said, "We believe in junior sister." At this time, Ming Xiao and the purple-clothed man were fighting so hard that they had yet to decide the outcome. What surprised them the most was that man's cultivation base was already half-foot in his sword saint, so it would be very difficult to defeat or kill him. Hani also said immediately, instead of being trapped to death and being drained of essence, it's better to give a shot. Junior sister Lu, we will listen to you. Although the pupils of the Heavenly Secret Palace and the Medicine Sect didn't believe that Lu Muyin could break through the array, but they could only grit their teeth when they felt the essence being lost from their bodies. You actually believe this, child? The pupils of the vast mountain sect looked at the other sect's pupils in disbelief and asked, "So what if you don't believe it?" Qi Xiao and that devil cultivator wouldn't be able to decide the outcome in a short time. Instead of sitting still, might as well fight to the death. Otherwise, when our essence is drained by this array, we'll all become dried corpses. Han Yi snorted coldly. He also disliked the leading pupil of the vast mountain sect this time. Seeing that the several people were still discussing, Lu Muyin furrowed her willow brows and said impatiently, "Do you still want to break it or not? Or should I come back after you've discussed it?" These men were just so fussy when doing things. If they didn't break the array, they'd definitely die. Now that they had a chance to attack the array, to help her break the array and be left with a sliver of hope, she didn't know what they were so worried about. Break! Although Gu Xiao didn't know much about Lu Muyin, but he knew her temperament. If they continued to delay, then she'd definitely turn and leave. Are we just attacking this place? Lu Muyin nodded, took out a black array flag, and planted it on the ground. Just attack the position of this array flag. Don't hold back. If you have fire elemental energy, then try to use your fire elemental energy. All right, although they didn't hold much hope. But the pupils of the several major sects all took out their magic tools, ready to bombard the weak point of the array, as Lu Muyin said. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, a pupil of the vast mountain sect said to their leader, "Senior brother, instead of waiting to die, might as well try. Let's attack." The leading pupil of the vast mountain sect's expression darkened, and he took a deep breath. After Lu Muyin gave her order, the pupils of the 6 major sects who were trapped all took out their magic tools to attack the weak point she pointed out. She wasn't idle either. She took out an array-breaking array flag and kept changing positions as she formed seals to continuously insert into the array flag. Try a bit harder, and it'll break. Lu Muyin said to the people trapped inside after stabilizing the arranged array. With a thought, 10 golden flying swords appeared in unison and attacked that weak point with a slam. It had already come to this point. The pupils of the 6 major sects could only listen to Lu Muyin's command. They no longer hid their strength and channeled 100% of their power to attack the array. An instant stick of time had yet to pass when everyone heard a boom boom. Then a golden light flickered, and 10 golden flying swords broke through the black light curtain bit by bit from the weak point. "Quick, let's help her together," Guxiao shouted with joy on his face. There was an unspeakable excitement on the face of others, and they continued to wave their magic tools to bombard the array. After a while, the black light cover was completely blown away and collapsed with attacks from the inside and outside. Pu. As soon as the array was broken, the man in purple who was fighting Ming Xiao suddenly spurted out a mouthful of blood. He hurriedly covered his chest and stepped back dozens of meters, looking at Lu Muyin grimly. "I didn't expect you, a damned girl, to break my soul-locking array. You deserve to die." Lu Muyin looked at him without fear and raised an eyebrow. "Haven't you heard that one cannot judge others by appearance, just as the sea cannot be measured by a bushel? Your mistake is that you underestimated the enemy." Then she immediately walked towards the direction of the fight between the two, her voice clear, carrying endless coldness. "Whether I deserve to die or not, I don't know, but today you definitely wouldn't live." In her life, she hated the words "you deserve to die" the most. This man completely violated her baseline. Absurdly arrogant. The purple-clothed man's face was filled with sullenness. "It'll end you now." This woman broke his soul-locking array, causing all his plans to completely fail. To think he completely ignored her earlier, he truly regretted it. Had he known earlier, he should have killed her with one palm before dealing with this man that was like a fallen immortal. "Your opponent is me." Ming Xiao dodged and blocked in front of the purple-clothed man who wanted to attack Lu Muyin. The purple-clothed man looked at Ming Xiao with fear. He was already half-stepped to Sword Saint, but not only did he not have the slightest advantage in battle with this man, who was only at peak phase Sword Venerable, but he even felt as if he would lose, which made him feel a little desire to retreat. "Dark Soul Beast, kill that woman." The purple-clothed man looked at the pupils who came out of the array, still unwilling to miss this opportunity to raise the Dark Soul Beast. The Dark Soul Beast that was lying on the ground lazily, waiting for the array to run and feed it, couldn't sit still when it saw the array was broken. Now hearing owner's order, it rushed towards Lu Muyin with a roar. "Careful!" When Guxiao and the others saw that the size of the Dark Soul Beast instantly increased dozens of times, and a deep, dark, sharp claw grabbed towards Lu Muyin, they couldn't resist holding their breath and shouting. Ming Xiao's gaze grew cold, and he was about to step back to rescue her when he heard Lu Muyin's telepathic voice. "I can deal with the Dark Soul Beast. You go kill the purple-clothed man." The man in purple should be the second boss she heard from the several people before. If he wasn't killed today and they let him return to report, it would definitely be a hidden danger. Ming Xiao halted in his steps, then responded, "All right. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference. as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.